Aggressive. Oh. Funky. I know. Oh look, sorry I do myself. Weird. Yeah, so now... Yeah, I can't hear... one, and you're live.
I say two. There's a special lad behind the scenes too. Shout out to our producer Dan from Discord, who is going to be running the show for us tonight. And this week we're joined by the lovely Becky Bear. Becky, how have you been?
I've been so good, and I mean, this is probably one of the coolest places to be playing in an amateur league at this time when we're like simultaneously like spending every single weekend watching LCS and being able to watch like the highest level of play in our region go on at the exact same time and play for their shot at Worlds. So there's a lot going on right now, and it's a good time to be a League of Legends player.
It's the Christmas before Christmas. I look at it. It's that little lead up to Worlds, and then you actually get there. It's like, oh my god, best time ever. But I know a bunch of our Victoris community were out at Worlds too. So shout out to everybody who was there. Hopefully, you all had a great time, got home safely. But yeah, Becky is going to be your colorcaster for tonight, and I will be your play-by-play slash host for this evening. And we got a few things to talk about as we get into the night. Of course, a little recap of what happened last week because we had three banger games on match. I believe game one was between Sharks and Lions, where Lions were able to get themselves the first win. I believe it was Cheesecake who actually got first blood of the season on stream here for VAD. Pretty great game there for the Lions. We move forward into game two. Really close between Falcons and Dragons. We had Falcons on the doorsteps of the Dragons. Ruby Jester on the Kled, who had an incredible game, but Dragons were able to bring it back and claim victory. And then all the way in game three for Group B, Unicorns versus Rattlers, where I do believe the Unicorns were able to find themselves a victory as well. A lot of other things happened in the league as well too, because we only get to show three games. There are a ton of games going on behind the scenes. So I do believe we are going to get the updated standings in. Becky, you and I can actually take a look at this, see who's kind of got themselves some good footing. Wow, couple of big ones up there,
Ooh.
Becky.
Certainly. And I mean, you're already going to have a treat to start off as our first match of the night is going to be that Razorbacks versus Astronauts match. So a 3-0 against a 2-1 to start things off. You know, bringing you a banger in the start as well as the close because we will be seeing Group B, at least the Crusaders, with that 3-0 go up against Vipers at 1-2. So we just got a lot of good matches all around tonight. And we're really going to be able to see how these matches are going to shake up everything that's happened so far because this seems like we are able to tell a lot, but it's only week 2. So these are going to change and fluctuate a ton as a lot of these teams get more comfortable working with each other.
Yeah, still early, but kind of a showing into okay, maybe who are those power teams? Who are the big ones we got our eyes on? I know for sure things are going to be a little interesting for the Razorbacks as they move forward. Yes, they had amazing first week, but there are some subs that are going to be in tonight. We have Webb filling in for the mid lane, which is, you know what, former champ from Summer Split on the Hornets. Pretty dang good in terms
Oh.
of subs you could find. Same with the Astronauts are going to have a sub in their jungle, and Razorbacks, in fact, have two subs. So Screams coming in sub. Excited to see how that goes. You mentioned Crusaders. We get to see them in game number 3 tonight as well too, which is going to be super duper excited. Becky Rita is back with us as well for this week in the jungle. And actually, we're going to see the names pop up. A lot of former or current casters, production crew are going to be playing tonight, which is super awesome. You know, give it back. Cast some of their games. They've done all their casting. But game 2, I've also got my eyes on another big team. Hammerheads are up for us as well too. That's another big team I'm looking at. Yes, might not be 3-0 right now, but long term, I see a lot of big names on there. Dream Unforgiven, Melly G, Sniper Borka, ADHD Graphics, and the addition of Sigma to their crew. It's going to be big. Definitely a big hill for a Captain Overcomer and the rest of the bandits to overcome. But gonna be a big night regardless. Which one of these three matches, Becky, do you think you got your eyes on tonight?
I think it has to be the first one. Like that just is a such big names that I've seen. I haven't been a part of the Victoris crew for very long, but a lot at the last season for VAD and then for Valorant in the season right before that. So I'm still relatively new, but there's enough names in that first game, as well as just knowing that you're going up against somebody who won all three of their matches last week and then somebody who won two out of their three. Like, that's just a great matchup to be watching based on those win rates alone,
Mhm.
but then getting to look at some of the champions that these people are into picking, especially when we start to look at like these bot lane picks and how flexible a lot of these players are going to be, then we're
Mhm.
getting right back into what I was saying about like it's so cool to watch Worlds and see what people are really bringing to the table, what innovations are happening, and seeing that a lot of these bot lanes are as flexible as we're seeing a lot of really high level players try to be, and seeing what our maybe, this is the amateur league, but it's still cool to see when people are like, oh, I can kind of do something that a lot of the best people in the game are doing, and
Yeah.
how they're able to like put their own spin on that, and I'm excited to see some of that come through here.
Always entertaining when it works. And it's like, oh dang, okay, so you went and watched the VOD, you went and watched the YouTube video, you watched the breakdown. Definitely great when we get to see that. Going to be interesting though with the fact that we are on patch 12.17 at this point. So with that being said, we are going to see potentially some Azirs coming out tonight with some changes to Hecarim. Actually, on Friday, I believe it was Diversity Esports. Their jungler brought out the Hecarim, and it was scary. I
Ooh.
know across the board, looking at some of these junglers we're going to see in these three show matches tonight, there is a very likely possibility of seeing that. So hopefully, teams on the other end have done their homework and know what bans need to be sent on through. I'm very excited for that. Udyr is also enabled, I believe, for this week. Chat, do correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I saw that pop up in the VAD chat here today, and that is going to be something getting used to, I guess. How do you feel about the new Udyr, Becky?
Um, I have mixed feelings about it. I think that I've seen a lot of people who I think are very proficient junglers kind of struggle to make it work. And I've been kind of both like some games I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so impressive. This seems like really broken. And then other games I'm like, does the new Udyr do anything? So I feel like it's very polarizing based on how you're planning to play that champion and how kind of ahead you can get in the early
Mhm.
game and be able to really stabilize things for yourself and not just constantly get invaded on and be pushed back time and time again. So I think that we're going to be able to hopefully see a lot of aggression if somebody picks up a new deer tonight.
Absolutely. I'm very much excited to learn about that. Learn more about, and then let's be honest, I'm learning more. It's been how many seasons of being used to this is Udyr, this is his kit, and then all of a sudden they throw something new at you. It's like, oh my gosh, hold up, Riot Games. Let's take it easy a little bit there. But that's the whole point. We're doing this. Have some fun, learn a little bit, bring you guys some action. And action for game number one. We're really not that far out. Only a few minutes at this point. Players are getting into the lobby right now. We are going to be setting up for draft in just a little bit. So hold on to your thoughts. Hold on to your predictions because we're going to want to hear from you. Let's dial things in a little bit, though, and talk about this first game we get to see here tonight. Some of these players, some of these champions we might specifically see from these guys. Astronauts 2-1 versus the Razorbacks 3-0. This is a banger. This is a huge game that we're about to see here. A lot of familiar faces, former champs on either side of the rift here tonight. Thoughts? Which of these teams are we looking at? Blue side for Astronauts, Razorbacks on the red side. What are your initial thoughts coming into this first game?
I think that for this first game, the side of the astronauts I think are going to be a little bit more flexible than the side of the Razorbacks, and I think that that has been something that did for Razorbacks. They have flexibility as far as like their champ pools are all pretty deep. Like they've all played a lot of variety of different champions. But I think that the overall flexibility as far as overall team composition goes, like the way that we do get to see the bot lane for the side of the astronauts really be able to be flexible in saying sometimes we don't want to pick an AD carry and we want to pick up an AP carry in the form of something like the Seraphine as
Mhm.
well is just going to be a lot more interesting to see. Whereas on the opposite side of the field, Razorbacks are very kind of traditional. They want one of those tanky supports that's going to potentially roam, and they're playing those like 80 carries that have big ultimates. So it's going to be kind of my eyes are going to be focused on the bot lane, but I do think that if astronauts are going to pull this one out and get themselves to the exact same score line that we would then see from Razorbacks, it's going to be because of that bot lane and the difference in flexibility that they have.
Yep. Bot lane for Astronauts has been performing, I would say, really, really well. My eyes, Stone Kit Kat, who has been in this league multiple times, so it tends to flip positions every now and then, but still performing really, really well. Lost in Paradise, I believe formerly Shu as well, coming back into the league, has been performing incredibly, incredibly well. I believe sitting on a few of those leaderboards for stats, definitely huge in terms of what we're looking at for helping out the team, getting those assists. I know some people might say, oh, assists don't matter. Yes, they do. You're helping your team. It shows you are helping out your fellow players. So I really like to see that. So yeah, definitely watching out for that bot lane. Over on the other side of the Razorbacks, though, I've got my eyes on Give Me Cup twice. Their Wukong has been absolutely massive, as well as their Nunu. Really high gank potential and definitely suits into what I'm hoping the Razorbacks kind of play style is going to be here. We didn't get to see him last week, but based on some of these numbers I saw, based at these stats tables that I'm looking at, oh my God, Razorbacks are going to be in your face. They're going to get aggressive. I would expect, high team fight probabilities. You do have Sakroza, who has picked up stuff like the Gangplank, offers huge AoE capabilities, especially being on red side. Set yourselves up nice and easily for those dragons and get yourselves ready to go for soul. I'm really, really excited for that. Web, though, as a sub, super great. Possible Azir angle coming through, which I'm going to be really, really looking out for. And then, of course, too, in the bot lane, we got to talk about them as well, too. You don't have their main support right now. I do believe they're going to be fielding for a new permanent support coming in. But Sonic 5040, that's going to be a quick one to say on stream tonight. The Misfortune. That's she did get some changes on the new patch, but still really, really strong. If you are building into that damage, if you get that ult actually pumping out significant damage in these fights, I think that would really suit them in these team fights, if that's the comp that they're going to go for.
Yeah, and I think that it really will depend. MF's kind of a spooky champion to go at. I mean, it's always kind of spooky to pick an AD carry first off, unless you're picking something that's really safe, like the Ezreal or even the Ashe is pretty safe in comparison to MF. And MF is going to be really strange. You really do want a team composition that locks down everyone, which is kind of going to be a bummer that we're not going to be seeing LCS Latch as much. And we're going to have Screams coming in. Like, LCS Latch was playing like all of the correct champions to go along with something like the MF was playing Rel, Galio. And now that we're having this little bit of a substitute, like how much is that really going to end up affecting this? Is it going to make it a lot harder for that MF to really be able to pop off? Or are we going to be kind of stoked that the MF is such a good champion for this AD carry that we just don't really ever get to see it come through? And then we get to rely on even those safer ones in the Ashe and the Ezreal. And I think I would kind of be stoked if I saw the MF get banned. I'd be like, all right, cool. My normal support that plays all the perfect tank champions to go along with it is gone. So I'm actually happy that this MF isn't going to be here and I don't have to build the rest of my team comp into that. But that being said, do have a lot of games on the Gangplank, and if we've been seeing LCS recently, you would know that the Gangplank and MF combination can be absolutely nasty. So that could be a nice way, and Gangplank is a great kind of early pick. I mean, you do have to worry about some of those differences in getting counterpicked, but you are still with that worldwide ultimate that you're able to use being just useful regardless of the situation on something like that GP, even if you do go for picking it up really early.
I'm excited for that. I mean, the Bilgewater duo right there can be, deadly if comboed up. And especially we see Cup on the Wukong too. Really, really helps having that Cyclone for the initiate to help keep them kind of posted up in that ball of death that that is going to come out if that's their plan. Would love to see that. But more, just an update coming from the lobby as well too. I believe the astronauts are coming into the lobby as well too, so we should have draft just up in just a second. Gonna chat slightly about the astronauts, and then we're gonna predict. We're gonna see how this first game goes here tonight. Napquan, big old top laner, back once again, veteran in this league. I would not be too surprised if you send a Mordekaiser up there. It's gonna make things really, really difficult to deal with. But the question is, do you play the Mord? Do you play this strong champ that he has shown us time and time again that is super strong, knowing that there's a chance of a Gangplank, simple orange, you're out of there. That is never feels good if you're the Mordekaiser player.
Absolutely not. And yeah, you got to just wonder if that's going to be just like something that they try to counterpick. I think that for the side of astronauts, also, I know we were just talking about Napquan in the top lane, but I do think that Napquan's champion pool is going to be deep enough that they could really just like wait until the top laner gets picked for the other side and just let Napquan go ahead and counterpick it. Has great win rates on pretty much every top laner aside from like maybe the Gnar or the Irelia, but like you're pretty much picking those champions to counterpick other people anyway. So just stick to one of the other ones. Like champ pool, super deep, probably not gonna have to worry about too much. What I'm really gonna be like kind of turning my eye towards is since we do have that jungler being replaced. That's actually also going to be kind of a sigh of relief. Their previous jungler was pretty much a Shaco one trick. So you were going to either be expecting a ban from that, and then your jungler is all of a sudden on one of these champions that they're probably a lot less comfortable on. And now that we're actually seeing Goldfan be able to come in as the sub, has a deeper champion pool, has more variety, and we are getting back into that flexibility where we previously weren't really having that in that jungle role. So kind of maybe going to be a sigh of relief. Shaco can be really nasty, but I imagine that if Mike's Revenge was actually in this game, you'd just immediately be like, I don't want to mess with the clown. Get it out of here. Ban it for sure.
Not down to clown. You know what? Who is? Who really is? But it does draw. It's a ban that must be used, because if you do not use it when Mike's Revenge is in, yeah, you're gonna pay. You're gonna know why he plays so much Shaco, and you're gonna know why that mastery is so damn high. Talked about top. Talk about jungle. We're gonna see how Goldfan does. Definitely expecting the aggressiveness from Cup. Mid lane. I cannot say with enough gusto here how excited I am to see these two former champs who faced each other in summer split in grand finals gonna be facing off again. Defoe, captain of the astronauts, once again against Webb, substituting here for the Razorbacks tonight, but was champion this past summer for the Hornets. Oh my god, we got to see them play this summer. We got to see some of their pools, some of their crazy stuff, but you know these guys are gonna perform tonight, Becky.
Yeah, and this is just another situation where we've seen Defoe pick up characters that they haven't even played in rank. Like, so it's like Defoe is one of those players who's so used to playing like pretty much any control mage in the mid side that you can't really counter it. You can't really ban out Defoe. You just kind of have to hope that you maybe get to counterpick. But even then, you have to imagine that Defoe is comfortable on Seraphine. And considering that Defoe, Stone Kit Kat, and Lost in Paradise, then all are people who are capable of playing the Seraphine. Like, the Seraphine just might be the first lock-in once we move to pick and ban, and just saying, like, I don't know, any one of us can use it. We'll just see where you go after we get this free pick that's just a really good champion that's extremely powerful right now and can slide into any single one of those roles.
Yeah, I'm super pumped to see how they're gonna slot in, but they don't just have champion pools. These guys have champion oceans. So really, it can be anything that comes out. I know classically, I think of Defoe, I think of Webb, it's Brandazir, but they've shown us so much more than that. I believe Webb was on last week as well too. The Nivea, which is super fun to see again, can kind of halter things. So I think that's really good. If you see the astronauts deciding to go for this engage comp as well too, you slap an Nivea in there and say, hey, there's a wall, you cannot get past me. But Defoe, we've seen his Lux come through as well too. That's been massive. He brought out Pantheon last week, and I believe ended up in the double digits for kills. So mid Pantheon, not out of the realm of possibility for tonight. Could be super entertaining if we do see it come too. And then bot lane. I mean, there's a whole whack of stuff we could see down there. The flex for the Seraphine is on the board, with astronauts being blue side. B1 Seraphine flex. It has been making a resurgence again. But Sonic, I was taking a look at the stats too. Number 2 overall KDA, 13.25. Holy moly. Aggressive ADCs, get your ADC fed. Sonic will take you the entire way. Any specific combos we're looking to match up with that misfortune if they decide to get it through? And what would be the answer on the other side from the astronauts to kind of deal with that?
I mean, well, we were already kind of talking about the Gangplank to come in with it as well. Unfortunately, things like the Shyvana and the Udyr that we're potentially seeing a lot from that jungle spot, not super great, but you were talking about the Wukong as well, and we know that Give Me a Cup twice is very comfortable on the Wukong. It's something that we saw be used in the last season as well. I keep looking at this Fiddlesticks, and that's what I keep wanting to see, but I know that Fiddlesticks is just like a little bit more of a risky pick. And then I would love to see something like a control mage. We were seeing in LCS kind of this combination of something like the Gangplank with the Victor, with then some other jungler that has the ability to get some slows off, and just going for a ton of slow fields from all of the champions that you're picking up, and then just throwing an MF as like the nice little cherry on top of the sundae.
Yeah, those mages. You know what? Kind of biased. I do like the control, the enchanters. They can do a lot of work, and honestly, it's paired up so nicely with the changes to durability. It's just a little bit extra, like you said, the cherry on top. It's just a little extra to help out with everything.
It does so much damage. So yeah, if you just have a way to lock people down, that MF is exactly where you want to be.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Scream is going to be busting out here for us tonight. But Lost in Paradise, shown us the Seraphine, also brought out the Renata Glask and did really well with them as well. If you end up going up against the Razorbacks, who like to go super aggressive, have lots of damage, having the Renata ultimate might be a great answer. So I'm super excited to see what the draft is going to be. I believe we are getting the link right now, and draft should be starting in just a few seconds. So ladies and gentlemen out there, game 1 is about to get underway between Astronauts versus the Razorbacks, and predictions will be open shortly once draft is complete. So make sure to keep your eyes out for that in Twitch chat and get your vote in. Becky, before we go to draft, who's winning game 1? Who's got it?
Oh, I'm gonna say Astronauts. I think that I really like the champion pools that they have. I think that their sub that they have actually fits in very well with what they have in general. So that's kind of where I'm leaning. Even though Razorbacks are 3-0, I think Astronauts have what it takes with the champions that I can see in their played history.
Oh, this is tough. This is tough because I don't disagree with you, but I do disagree with you, Becky. I gotta go with Razorbacks. I gotta, balance out the scales a little bit. Yeah. Both teams are incredible, but I'm looking at that high octane, flat out, all gasoline from the Razorbacks. 3-0. You can't top that record week 1. You literally cannot top that record in week 1. So I'm hoping for some big bans, some big stuff here. But here we go. Draft has officially started now, and we are going to see that the Astronauts have done their homework. They are not going to allow Cup to have his Wukong this week.
Oh, and I think that that's a great idea, getting rid of also one of the best junglers to go in combination with that super strong AD carry position that we've been talking about. We were also talking about Defoe being pretty good with this Lux, so I like going for that one. I'm surprised that we're seeing this Seraphine ban when I feel like Astronauts are actually the ones who play more of the Seraphine, but potentially they just have a plan. They're going for something a little bit different. I'm interested to see how it goes, and the plan is actually just to pick the MF away from Sonic 50/40.
All right. I respect it because, again, you take Seraphine off the board, it kind of makes them think. Razorbacks are thinking, why would they take it off? I was sitting here too. Why would they take it off?
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Oh.
Right? But so smart. You know how well Sonic has performed with that misfortune. Take it away. Use it for Stone Kit Cat. Has shown us very proficient on many of those ADCs. But wow. We got Ziggs, again, potential flex pick. Will it go to Web? Will it go to Sonic? We can see it kind of has some flexibility, but the Hecarim will show its face in the first game of tonight's VAD. It's extremely strong. 12-17 has just, hey, here you go, Hecarim, have a bunch of buffs, buddy. Why don't you go around and do some stuff? Now, for the Astronauts, they got to be on alert here, saying there's potential cat angle to add onto this horse. It is not nice to deal with. Maybe a Lillian to just slow things down a little bit. Not too bad.
Yeah, I like answering the Centaur with another Centaur, and I personally think that Hecarim is a little bit of a boogeyman. I know that if I'm ever playing Clash with my friends, if I'm in a normal game even, Hecarim is the character that I don't want to see, whether it is at strength through buffs or not even in a good place and played a lot. Not what I want to be. Makes sense that Lost in Paradise is going to go ahead and pick up this Pyke. I think that that is a very heavy hitting combination. It does mean that likely the Pyke is going to be the one picking up a lot of kills, but thankfully Pyke's kit doesn't mind about that too much. So we still will be able to give a lot of that gold going over to that Misfortune. And this way we're doing a little bit of a different Bilgewater combo.
Slightly different. I was honestly thinking when I said that, I'm like, who else is from Bilgewater again? Oh yeah, Pike. Twist Fate, I think as well, is included in the mix. I don't know if we'll see him. Fortunately, we will not be seeing the AST here for Web tonight, so they astronauts might believe that that Ziggs is actually heading into the bot lane for Sonic, so we might see potentially another ban for Web. Might work out for them, might not. Again, that is kind of the benefit of having that flexible pick with the Ziggs. I'm excited to see this Pike kind of let loose. It's gonna be really fun. Again, this is very small chance of this, but Caps angle, Pike mid. Who knows if the foe is gonna be that wild with it tonight? Sometimes here in VAD we get treated to some crazy stuff, so you never know. But most likely gonna be Lost in Paradise down there in the bot lane with the Misfortune. And yeah, if you can combo, if you can pull together, you can CC together, and then get the execute off, it makes it so much easier having that Misfortune there to kind of clump out together. But Becky, we get it. On the other side, a little bit of Bilgewater as well. Gangplank is coming through for Sakroza.
Oh, I mean, I like this so far. Like, if you can just throw down that Gangplank ultimate, and then Hecarim is just making Hecarim's life so much easier to go run down exactly whoever that Hecarim wants to take down. Comboing that with also this Taric that's going to be able to really help buff up that Hecarim and lock somebody down. Nobody is escaping this pony right now.
Nivea gonna be picked up as well. I
Okay,
think that kind
Defoe.
of gives us an indication of what Defoe's picking, and still that potential angle to take that away from Webb if for some reason that Ziggs is in fact not heading into the mid lane. So one final pick here for the Astronauts. From what I can see though, Becky, there's a lot of CC, a lot of slow on the side of the Astronauts that essentially it's gonna take things down a notch. It's gonna say to the Razorbacks, hey, let's just chill out. No pun intended there with the Anivia. But it does kind of interrupt a lot of what the Hecarim is looking to do, which is get in your face, get a lot of damage down, and maybe do some more CCing to get those kills out. Aatrox picked up for Nabquan. Oh, this is going to be a spicy top lane. Cannot wait.
Yeah, I think that we're really going to have to see Nabquan put a lot of effort into just beating this Gangplank as much as humanly possible, especially when we're seeing that there were a lot of picks open for Nabquan that I think would have been more comfortable, but is trying to go for that little bit of a counter pick, as well as probably just trying to put a ton of pressure into that top lane and force a lot of people to try and move up there, when you know inevitably that Gangplank is trying to play a lot of attention to everywhere else as well. I feel like I don't even want to finish the thought that I was making, because I imagine that this Irelia is going Webb's way.
Oh, it's so spicy. Could be Gangplank mid, could be Aurelia mid. I would hope it's going to the mid lane, because that's so damn spicy. Two former champs. One of them was playing QQQQQQ champion. She's ridiculous. And again, you have to be so careful timing your CC. There is one answer with the Lilia, just kind of hit him with any ability and put him to sleep. But it does become really difficult to manage. It becomes extremely aggressive, and to follow up on the Hecarim charging in your face is going to be really nice to have that Aurelia ult kind of just shoot in there, lock him down, toss a Gangplank ult down on top. How are the Astronauts going to deal with that?
This is kind of rough, because I actually feel like, especially for Lost in Paradise, having this Pike be the pickup, Pike isn't really great into any of these characters. Like, you're going to be hoping to somehow get Sakroza, but the great part about Ziggs is that you don't need to be anywhere near the front line, and you know that Taric is going to be so close to you the whole time. And, like, Pike goes up to a Taric, and, like, you're just not going to have as successful of a time being able to quickly beat somebody up. And if you pull, a Gangplank or an Irelia, like, that's not going well for you either. So this just seems like kind of two great picks to go up against what Defoe was probably trying to just, like, have some nice, easy picks. And all of a sudden, things are not going to be so easy for that Pike. And a lot of things are really going to have to go on to the back of Defoe. Sorry, I was saying Defoe for the Pike earlier, but Defoe, who's going to have this Anivia, a lot is going to have to roll on that. But if this Irelia is mid, once this Irelia gets to level 6 and is able to just like go in and is able to go around the slow fields so easily with that Q, this is going to be a rough one for Defoe.
Yeah, could be potentially problematic. I honestly got to watch the early levels between the Anivia and the Irelia, because if Webb is going to end up playing this Irelia, taking it mid, you take a little bit of early damage. Those early trades are going to be so favorable for Irelia. You get in the face of the bird. What is she going to do? Yeah, she might have her level 1 Q, but Irelia is going to have these insane auto attacks that are getting in your face, stacking the potential Conqueror that we see on there, and it's just downhill from there. Uphill if you're Webb on Irelia. We're about to get confirmation in just a couple seconds if it is, in fact, Irelia heading into the mid lane. It's not in the top lane because Sakroza's got Gangplank, unless there's something else crazy happening. No, it is going to be that Anivia versus Irelia in the mid lane. So that is something I honestly, knowing Webb, seeing his play style, can bust out the aggressive style every now and then, playing alongside Razorbacks. I think maybe it's bumped up a couple notches there. Early levels, Defoe needs to play very, very carefully, especially around these waves, because we know how easily that Irelia can just her way into your face and get that extra 300 gold.
Yeah, not to mention that you're an Anivia, a character that doesn't really escape very well, that is also going to have to worry about this Hecarim coming into lane as well. And the moment that any of these champions hit 6, you not only have to worry about that Hecarim, you have to worry about a Gangplank ult coming down on top of you as well. So I think that overall the team composition for Razorbacks is really spicy, but if any of them even start to get behind, not having the same level of range that Astronauts have could start to be something that bites them.
Yep. And that's one thing, said a lot about the Razorbacks. Now about the Astronauts, what is their management going to be? How are they going to deal with this? I think range, you mentioned, is a really good option too. Swirl Seed's infinite. That thing just goes forever. So depending on what Goldfan is going to be building here, if we do see the Leandri's build coming out, it can be quite problematic for those squishier members if the Ziggs all the way in the back line does get hit by that. The big thing, though, I think for Astronauts is that they need to be together, synchronized when they do come into these team fights, because it does kind of, looking at their comp, require them all to be on the same page together at the same time, versus Razorbacks that can kind of use 2, 3, 4 members together at any point and find themselves a pick, find themselves a couple kills. So I think that's going to be a question mark there. Like you mentioned, late game scaling might be in the favor of the Astronauts there. If they can get there safely, then I think we can see the 5v5s be somewhat in their favor. However, they gotta be aware. They gotta be on the ball and not let themselves get drawn into those 3v3s, 4v4s, or even odd number situations, which would be really, really beneficial to the Razorbacks to be picking up that gold if they can get away with that.
Yeah, honestly, it sucks that we do predictions before we go through Champ Select. I just think that I think I might switch now. I just think it's a little bit too scary. Astronauts have to be very careful. Like, if their engage is going to be this Lilia, you do that orb, you try to hit as many people as possible, and then you do the sleep, and you can't really just go ahead and immediately pop that MF ult. You have to wait for Defoe to go ahead and do that ice field so that once they are unslept, you can go ahead and, like, continue to hold them locked down in place. So you have to hope that either Defoe is able to get that Anivia ultimate down, or Napcon's able to hit the nastiest knockups in the world first before Stone Kit Kat can go ahead and go unload with that bullet time. So I'm a little bit worried about the exact timing that Astronauts have to do, whereas Razorbacks kind of have any 2 champion combination as showing up pretty nasty. So that's how I'm feeling after this champion select, but things could still go downhill for Razorbacks once again.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Intensify for the lovely draft we get to see here tonight. But let's see how it pans out on the Rift, because we're about to head there in just a few short moments. Don't forget to get your predictions in for game number 1. Use those channel points. Let us know who you think is going to win. Will it be the Astronauts on the blue side? Will it be the Razorbacks on the red side? Somewhat color coordinated here tonight. I do love when it works out like that. But Becky and I will be back in just a few short moments, so don't go anywhere, because it's game 1 of week 2 for VAD coming up in just a few short moments. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to week 2 of the VAD League. We got game number 1 underway. Astronauts on the blue side with Napquan, Goldfan, Defoe, Stone Kit Kat, and Lost in Paradise. Over on the red side, we got our 3-0 team, Razorbacks with Sakroza, Give Me a Cup Twice, Webb, Sonic, and Screams. Screams. We're going to mix it up a little bit tonight. We're going to have some fun, but I'm joined by the lovely Becky Bear here as my co-caster. And we got some interesting stuff happening. They're double invading, I think.
Oh, yeah, this is quite interesting. I mean, you can see that Razorbacks are not going too far out there. It looks like they were positioning themselves for if they got invaded on that bottom side of the map. And maybe they'll be able to see astronauts leading their way out there. So a little bit of information will be given over. You will be able to tell that like the award got left on that side of the map. And hopefully you're going to be able to play around that a little bit, as we do see they Give Me a Cup Twice and Sakroza potentially going to be starting up a top side.
Either way, they just saw Cup walking down past the red, so likelihood if we do see Sonic and Scram kind of showing their faces earlier in the lane, which you see they're kind of holding back. They're sitting under the tower right now, which is really smart, kind of feigning that leash. But back on towards the red, astronauts are going to know where Cup is right now, and maybe potentially look to at least keep themselves safe during the early lane phases of this game. For now, though, we're getting into things. I'm not seeing anything too crazy in terms of our runes, so pretty standard across the board here. We do have Cup with the Ghost, so yeah, it's very smart. Astronauts keeping tabs on this jungler from the get-go because he's going to be zooming around the map, Becky.
Yeah, certainly going to be zooming, and Ghost very strong right now, so going to be interesting to see that as well. Something that I do think is worth noting is that we do see this MF not going for that arcane comment, is on that press the attack, so you can tell kind of a little bit of what we expect that build to look like. Is going to try and be able to push through some damage, or going to be going for something like that Gale Force, which I think would be a smart thing to do considering you're facing down an Irelia and that Hecarim.
Speaking of the Aurelia, we can see Webb already applying that pressure in the mid lane, already pushing Defoe underneath the tower, and not something that we're too surprised to see. Ooh, double stun coming out from both, actually. A little bit of trading. Webb is going to take a tower shot. Defoe getting low, still has the safety of the passive, but you can see Webb right off the bat. We just hit the 3-minute mark. Webb's only level 3, and he is starting things off quite spicy in this mid lane.
Yeah, getting aggressive, and you kind of have to. You gotta instill the fear in the heart of that enemy mage. Otherwise, the mage is gonna kind of just walk all over you because it's a ranged versus melee matchup. So you really gotta start to show off exactly the level of aggression and prowess that you have, especially on something like that Irelia, as quickly as possible. So, and you can also see that Webb's doing a great job of CSing, as Irelias tend to, all along this as well.
Really stacking up those numbers. We did just see both scuttles taken as well too. And now the Razorbacks have a good idea of where Goldfan is at. So should be looking for those back soon, and wouldn't be too surprised to see the follow-up ganks. Though more realistically would expect to wait for that Lily to hit level 6 so you can at least get the Lilting Lullaby off. However, both junglers are currently top right now. If anything breaks out, Cup decides to go for it. We are going to see a potential answer. Actually, no, we'll come back. Bot lane, we just saw trading out a little bit. For now, things are just chilling. We're just chilling. We're easing our way into week number 1. I say that, give it another minute and a half. We know what tends to happen around here. But it's been really good, really safe plays from both these teams, showing that they are nice and comfortable in these early stages of the game. And especially for Astronauts, what we talked about in draft, knowing that, hey, if we keep it pretty easy in the early game, we should be fine. The exception might be in the top lane, where we see Napquan tends to be pretty confident in his plays. A little bit of trading, though, in the bot lane, as Grams is going to get hit by the Misfortune E. Slowed on down. More autos coming through. Stone Kit Kat changing attention on to Sonic, who has no mana, but look at Lost in Paradise going on in. The exhaust is going to come down. The Taric stun will land. Stone Kit Kat's got to walk up the fall. The Pike double stun will land its first blood for the Astronauts, going to Stone Kit Kat.
Yeah, very nicely done from Lost in Paradise there, actually being able to get that aggressive positioning and then just saying, you know what, Stone Kit Kat, walk up when you're able to. And, you know, Sonic, unfortunately not able to do a whole lot, has been so low on mana for the last minute and a half. And, I mean, big heads up play coming from Stone Kit Kat and Lost in Paradise saying, sure, we're low, but I mean, what is this Ziggs with no mana going to be able to do to us?
Just there and kind of looking for now. That's really all he really could do. We saw the initial trading there, but yeah, a lot of this. Lost in Paradise stepped up and made stuff happen. That's what we love to see from our supports, Becky.
It certainly is, and you can see the Scramps tries to position and do everything correctly, and really just the downfall of this does end up being that Sonic just has no mana, which is one of the downsides to playing something like this Ziggs in this lane. You are playing against likely an AD carry that doesn't really need as much mana. Normally you see that MF be pretty mana hungry, but that's saying a lot from Stone Kit Kat, who's done a great job of managing that mana pool.
Yeah, we saw just in the bottom left corner of the screen, Defoe is getting traded on. You can tell, though, I think Webb is got a sense of, hey, something's a little fishy. Why is this Anivia with a quarter of a health bar in my face? But is going to take the bait anyways, gets the pass off, but the rest of his team is here. That's going to be the Aurelia all through, and Webb will still finish off that Cryo Phoenix. Picks up a kill for the Razorbacks. They're now on the board. Don't know if we're done doing the dance yet. Cannon Barrage was used to kind of keep the rest of those astronauts off. But Napquan now rotating down. You have Cup waiting in the wings. Going to be coming in as well, too. Aurelius Spin will not land, but Golden Fan knocked on back. No mana to follow up on that. Webb gets hit by the knockup from Napquan. Tarek's stun will not be enough. Napquan's venture to the mid lane pays off.
Yeah, very nice turn there, and Napquan right place, right time. You can tell that Webb wasn't really expecting for that top laner to be moving down and be exactly in that position and able to capitalize and be the one to really do that damage, because right now that Lilia bought Lucidity Boots first, so that Lilia is not doing a whole lot of damage right now, as well as Lost in Paradise without ultimate just isn't able to finish people off with that same level of oomph. So great job from Napquan, and is going to be able to keep astronauts ahead on kills for now.
And if we were to actually take a look at some of the XP charts, we see the level 6s are coming. They're going to be close to come. A few of them are popping up, I think, at this point. Lost Paradise might be just a little bit away. As you can see, the damage is now really starting to show itself. Stone Kit Kat picking up another kill. Lost in Paradise. Beautiful, beautiful little setup. I know sometimes we'll call on that. Sorry, production, for that. But stuff just happens so fast in this game, and it's really ramping up now, about to hit that 8-minute mark. There's been an Ocean Drake sitting on the board right now, and with that just brief appearance of Cup on the top half of the map, I'm hoping we see this this movement from the astronauts here. But yeah, there we go. Level 6 is almost for everybody. Sonic is about to hit his as well too, so Mega Infernal Bomb can be potentially huge for these upcoming dragons. Already has the Lost Chapter, and now it's available on the board. We're just waiting on our supports. As a support main, I know it. We're always last to get to 6, but it's coming, and it's going to be definitely huge. Terracult, Pycult, both massive here. Napquan flexing those muscles a little bit more on the top side as well.
Is certainly flexing, and Sakroza was able to try and get a little bit of an impact ultimate down earlier, but wasn't really able to be capitalized on by the rest of the team. And then Webb was maybe being a little bit too aggressive earlier in that mid lane side, and now Sakroza trying to bait Forgive Me a Cup twice here.
Oh goodness, Napquan's in some trouble. That's going to be the onslaught of shadows. Flash away from Napquan. Can he stay safe for now? Trying to get the last bit of damage out, but to no avail, because Sakroza going to be picking up that kill in the top lane. Lovely little gank from Cup. This is what we were looking for. This is what we expected from the Razorbacks jungler, and they're on the board. But as I mentioned a little while ago, they saw him up on the top half of the map. Dragon is going to get started up here for the astronauts, and smart enough for Cup, he's on the Herald as we have another fight breaking out in the mid lane. Defoe holds off Webb for now with the last of his mana.
Yeah, that was potentially a little bit scary for Webb, especially just being on that outer range of that turret, so taking a few shots there, but manages to stay safe while still putting that pressure onto Defoe. So a nice little trade for the Dragon and the Rift Herald here. Just a lot of attention going towards that top side of the map, and they are able to pick that up, but Napquan might be able to take somebody down here. Nope, that split up is going to be enough. Or, I believe, Give Me a Cup twice to be able to get away here. Yeah, not quite able to keep up with that four-legged horse.
2 extra legs. That's double the speed right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just basic math. That's definitely going to be a thorn in their side. Now with the Herald Still no ghosts available. I do believe they used it a little earlier for that first game we saw. Though we have the movement from Lost in Paradise and Golden Fan up in the top lane. Lilted Lullaby comes down, and Gold Fan will secure it. Cannon Barrage was even used too as a last-ditch effort. But we know how long that cooldown is going to be until it's back up, so really well done from the Astronauts to take up an important member and important resources from the Razorbacks.
Yeah, Astronauts so far doing a pretty good job of being able to try and get this early aggression off and capitalize on as much as possible. Having Stone Kit Kat get a lot of gold has been very important, as well as putting a lot of attention towards this top side of the map and making sure Napquan is going to be able to, as we mentioned, really put the pressure onto that side of the map, because you're going to need it. If you have a Gangplank on the other side, they're just able to impact the map so much, and you need to have a strong top laner to just be a nuisance for the rest of the game. The thing that I am worried about is I don't know if Astronauts are ahead enough for the insane team composition that Razorbacks have, and Lost in Paradise trying to make something happen against Webb, but Webb is just so strong on this Irelia. Yes, that oh my goodness, Sakroza on the other side of the map. Oh my goodness, I just don't even have a moment to stop talking. I'm so sorry, Gert.
Welcome back to VAD. Becky, you remember how it was last summer. Fight after fight. Webb goes in, Lost in Paradise shows up, and then all goes to heck in the top lane. The Sakroza gets jumped on once again. Losing that member, no TP available for the Gangplank, no Cannon Barrage for the Gangplank, is just going to allow these members to walk on and get some more control, and more importantly for Napquan up in the top lane, continue to secure these plates. They're moving up in gold. You see the CS lead has extended as well too. So this Aatrox, who is definitely a champion who requires some early resources, a lot of early resources, is going to set him extremely far ahead. But look at the CS coming in from these members. This is insane.
Well, there's something to be said about the early lead coming onto this Lilia as well. The earlier that this Lilia is going to be able to finish this Liandry's, the more just damage is going to be able to rack up and really just stop any sort of these like bruiser tank builds that we're going to be seeing from the Gangplank or the Hecarim or even the Irelia, as once again they know that Sakroza's flash is down, nothing is available. And Sakroza's just getting run down.
In comes Cup with the onslaught of shadows. Will it be enough to save his teammate? No, let's step from below. And taking on out Lost in Paradise will share the load, share the gold with their teammate. That was extremely close. Really great effort from Cup there, but unfortunately not enough there. Webb was actually taken out as well too. Losing multiple members. Razorbacks having themselves a little bit of a rough early game, but more importantly, to be said, is how well the Astronauts are doing. Coming to this game knowing, hey, we're looking at the team that comes on late game. They've been crushing it in the early game, Becky.
Oh yeah, and I think that we can single-handedly give the like nice little crown and award to Lost in Paradise and Goldfan. I was talking to my fiance earlier this week and I was like, what do you think is the best combination for like duo queuing in solo queue? And we pretty much agreed that it is support and jungle, because you can baby your bot laner and then you can baby the other two lanes and you can roam all across the map and you're just able to get the absolute most done if your duo queue is playing one of those roles, and just all of a sudden you're 3v1ing every single lane, the 3v1ing or 3v2ing every single lane that you go into. And what are people realistically going to do about that?
Oh, Rage would try their best to bring the cleanse and disable whatever's running at them, but it's been so good. Just the combos put together, the roaming. That's what I love to see too. Is like you mentioned, that pair up, that duo. That's actually what I run with my buddy. Is I'm support, he runs jungle, but it's the roaming that matters. So we have two extremely mobile champions between Lilia and Pyke, and they're landing their skill shots. They're getting it done and making sure to feed that gold into the team with the ability of Pyke's ultimate. So it's just been really good so far. And you can see, again, those two holding hands together as they set up for this next dragon, which is going to be a Hex Tech. I wonder what soul we're going to get. Unfortunately for Napquan, though, he's in serious trouble as 3 members of Razorbacks diving on the top side of the map. Cup is going to go down, though. He's able to get one. Sakroza takes a turret shot. Napquan with the World Ender survives. And he goes forward to pick off a second. 1v3? Is this Phoenix out here? No way. Napquan, amazing.
I maybe would have thought that they could get that done. Unfortunately, Webb on this Irelia just is not very strong right now. Had to go for those merc threads against this Nivea and is kind of hurting for it. Is not very close to, well, it's kind of close to at least that mythic, but I think before you even think about fighting a lot of these people, you have to have that Blade of the Ruined King done, and that's not what Webb was gone for first.
Nope. Still, that Triforce, I think it looks like the Triforce that he's trying to go for. It's an expensive build. It's going to take you a while to get there. And if you don't get those early kills, that's unfortunately going to be the situation you're in, where your tower is going to get chipped away. You're going to be chipped away. There's not much you can do about this. This was the lovely setup they had for the Dragon, so easily able to take that uncontested. But Napquan, Becky, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the things that you just have to... I mean, Aatrox has always done things like this. Becomes kind of an unkillable monster once you're able to go into that ultimate, and has been that way despite multiple iterations of Aatrox through time, and just kind of takes everybody to church in that top lane.
Oh my goodness, Church of Napquan going on in the top lane right now. It is incredible. And I don't know if I'm the Razorbacks right now looking for another triple dive, thinking, okay, do we got it this time? Are we for sure going to go for it this time? Or we're just going to take it easy right now? Honestly, you know how good the siege is going to be with that Ziggs. Set yourself up for these turrets, but that is becoming a little bit more difficult when you're looking to steal jungle. It's 1v2. You got Lost in Paradise and Stone Kit Kat doing so much damage. Megan, Inferno Ball goes down. Takes down the Pike, and Sonic will flash forward, tries to get the bouncing bomb off. Sonic saving the day from the back line.
Alright, you gotta hope that you're at least just able to pick up this turret here, and you are able to thanks to that Ziggs. And now Wolfman's gonna try and get in here. Scram's gonna do a lot of damage, but can't she be attacked twice? Do something here?
Oh, beautiful little stun there. The bouncing bomb goes right over, but the auto with, I believe, the extra passive added there will help on out. Defoe is now roamed on down. See the barrel set up. Will at least land one. Defoe Web coming around as well, too. Gets the lockup. In they go. That's Anivia passive down. Golden Fan will get the double kill. Finishes off Scrams as well. As they're spinning around, they're doing so much damage. That's Death from below. Picking up the kills on Lost in Paradise. Web now down to just a sliver. We got Napquan doing Napquan things over here with that Aatrox. Sonic breaking legs out here. Can he hold on? Blast Plant is right there. Back and forth. He takes it, and then he takes the auto. It's an ace for the side of the Astronauts. 15-6 here at 18 minutes into the game. Plus a Herald in the bot lane. This influx of gold is going to be huge. Currently about 4.5k up. Astronauts making moves and cementing them in.
You know what? I rescind what I said about their team compositions. I mean, I did mention that Astronauts needed to get a lead early, and the fact that they're this ahead before 20 minutes, I think means that we don't have to worry so much about the late game potential that's going to come out of something like this, Irelia. Especially, unfortunately, when Webb did go ahead and build that Blade of the Ruined King first. We're not seeing the ability to take down Napquan super easily as a result of those things, or even get into dueling situations with this Aatrox. I love that we're getting this replay. Honestly, props to Sonic 5040 for how long you were able to stay alive in that situation, and potentially an oversight from Razorbacks as they continued to stay in a fight despite Stone Kit Kat and Lost in Paradise being able to come back from base / resurrected from that first initial fight. That was the whole reason Razorbacks were down there.
This is getting really scary for the Razorbacks. Lost in Paradise. Those hooks are becoming more and more threatening. Don't know about that bullet time. His Cup is going to be picking up that kill with the help of Sonic. So Gold Fan with the lilting lullaby puts Sonic to sleep and puts him in the ground as well. Gold Fan picking up their 6th kill of this game, 6-0-4 on the Lilia. And it is in fact going to be that Leandri's build that I mentioned earlier in draft, along with the Rylai's as their second item. Oh my, damage, burning, and extra slows, Becky.
I mean, we mentioned that we have to have a lot of slowing potential for this MF to really go off. Granted, we do also need to see Stone Kit Kat maybe be a little more conscious of where you are on the map, and then going forward, be able to get those insane bullet times off with that combo of things like this Anivia and that Rylai's.
go though. Dragon is getting started up by Astronauts. Infernal stole this game, so the damage they've already been able to pump out is going to be even more. But on the top side, Stone Kid Cat is getting dove once again and will be taken out quite easily there. The duo of the Hecarim and Aurelia easily able to pick that one up. But more importantly, so they're like, hey, you know what? You got Stone Kid Cat. Guess what? We're sitting on Soul Point right now for the Infernal Soul. Baron's on the map right now, and Gold Fan sees a very low web right now. Gonna toss the
Web!
seed out, and that's all it takes.
Web
Skadoosh!
walked back into it. Oh,
He's
Web,
not done
I'm
yet,
so
though. Lilting
sorry.
Lullaby down onto the Ziggs. Onslaught of Shadows to get on out, but there's nowhere you can go. Mega Infernal Bung comes down, but Gold Fan, legendary, 8-0-4. Look at the takedown gold. If they're able to even kill Gold Fan, that would be huge for Razorbacks. But this is going to be so tough when you got people running laps around you, Becky. It's lost to Paradise. Oh, not quite on that one.
I mean, luckily for Razorbacks, who are trying to just scramble themselves some gold back into this game, are kind of dying to do so, but at least as long as you just like keep racking up kills and getting some gold onto this Irelia, like eventually the Irelia is going to be an unkillable monster. And they're doing this thing with their team composition where they're saying we have a Gangplank, we have a Hecarim, and we have an Irelia. And what is that? It is an 80 carries worst nightmare. So we're just going wherever Stone Kid Cat is and trying to make it so difficult for everyone. And oh my gosh, that walk back from Web was just so sad, and unfortunately Sonic 5040 not able to do too much there either.
Oh, that was Gold Fan's been playing amazingly into the Gold Fawn. Maybe that'd be kind of proving to us how good their Lily is this season. So I'm loving seeing this, and we can see that gold lead was quite up there, but starting to come back down a little bit, just within, I believe, 1,000, 2,000, close to 2,000 at this point. But still, it's been held for the majority of the time by the Astronauts right now. They've got double the kills. They're sitting on that Soul Point. 3 minutes away until the next Infernal comes up where they can potentially clutch that. But it's just been dominating so far. And it's a matter of, okay, how do the Astronauts now? They've got themselves a lead. They've got themselves priority and tempo at this point. How are they going to hold on to that and make sure that does not get turned around for Razorbacks?
I mean, they just really have to be careful about watching their squishier characters. They have to watch out for Stone Kid Cat, Gold Fan, while being extremely strong. Tuz has that 700 gold shutdown, and like health-wise is kind of tanky, but otherwise could get very quickly taken down by something like this Irelia. So they just need to be careful of their characters that are a little more susceptible to being taken down pretty quickly, and just make sure that their positioning continues to be on point and they're kind of just the ones controlling the tempo and the positioning of the game. If they can continue to do that, they should be safe. But if Razorbacks just try to keep their heads on straight, start to fight back against this, we could see a change in tide here. Once again, Razorbacks team composition is pretty late game oriented.
It's definitely gonna be scary. The Gangplank barrels late game are no joke whatsoever. But it's something I guess we've been lacking from the Razorbacks, is the wombo combos. We saw it, I think, once, but didn't really pan out to as many kills as we would have expected from it. So at what point is that combo going to come out? What point is it going to actually work? Is still kind of a question mark hanging in the air. And the other risk factor that is now kind of emerged from the Astronauts is this massive Aatrox, who definitely has the ability to go ahead and split push. So you have to deal with these 4 already very strong members of the Astronauts and then send somebody over to the other side. Yes, you still have the cannon barrage to kind of help your team out across the map, but Aatrox is going to be a whole other can of worms that the Razorbacks have to deal with.
Yeah, speaking of a can of worms, we do see the Gold Fan also understanding just how fed this Fawn is. Went ahead and finished that Magi's and is going to try and rack up some more stacks in that manner as well. So that's certainly got to be something that Razorbacks are looking to shut down. And it just seems like it's going to be difficult to get on top of this Lilia and also just be able to finish the job, especially when we are so behind in gold on a lot of the characters that we're trying to do damage with.
Oh my goodness. I just keep my eyes out right now. Got the wide pan. We get to see if those rolling seeds are going to hit. They do land it on the Sonic, but again, no need to bust the ult, no need to overcommit to something right now. The TPA is actually going to be coming through from Web right now, and this Dragon is spawning. I mean, I said not to overcommit. I think now's the time to actually commit as much as you can, because this is Infernal Soul here for the side of the Astronauts. They're going to go ahead and start this up, and we are going to have a big team fight on our hands in just a couple seconds. Oh, no, John's on the Shadows. Kane of Heroics coming on down. Plus the Aurelia ult. Astronauts are holding on, but those health bars are getting low. Lilting Lullaby puts multiple members to sleep, but Razorbacks find the kills. They find the team fight. They find Napquan. And it's shutdowns across the board. It's 4 members of the Astronauts wiped, and Razorbacks will hold on to this Dragon unless Lost in Paradise can get the miracle steal here, Becky.
I kind of doubt it. In fact, well, maybe it would have been possible since the Tarek was the one to finish it off, but I have to go back, rewatch that replay, and I have to count how many people get hit by that Hecarim ultimate, because it looked to me like it was 4 of Astronauts, and that's way too many of your team to get feared by 1 ultimate. So let's go ahead, let's count here as we go back into this. Give Me a Cup Twice does get hit by that hook from the pipe, but it really just positions Give Me a Cup Twice for a better spot to go ahead and just decimate the whole side of Astronauts with fears all across the board. And Napquan tries to like recover this a little bit, but that's the thing that you can't be having on the side of Astronauts. And when we went back to the game, we immediately got to see that Gold Fan, as well as Defoe, immediately picked up something. Like, that was the item. They were like, oh, we can't have that happen again, and that's going to help them be able to fight against that Hecarim going forward. But we just can't be that clumped up that we all get hit by that Hecarim here.
No, that's devastating. That's such a good ult from Cup. The big thing is, yeah, the Zonya's going to be coming through as well, too. Recently on the 12-17, more expensive as well, but for Gold Fan, not really too much of a problem. Had quite a lot in the wallet. The bigger issue is, though, they gave up that 700 shutdown gold over to the Razorbacks. You see the gold lead has actually been switched on over. Razorbacks have taken the lead now by 1K. And Baron still on the board. We're seeing the battle for Vision at the time being, but no other major objectives on the board. Wouldn't be too surprised to see these guys starting to set up as we see. Still Gold Fan and Napquan up there with almost 12K apiece in their pockets. But it's that little bit of a switchback. Those little shutdown golds have definitely gotten Razorbacks back into this game.
Yeah, and Gold Fan now did sell that Magi's after that death. Said, all right, it's not worth keeping if they figured out exactly how to take me down, and instead opted for that little bit of a safer item in that Zonia's, as I mentioned. And unfortunately, Stone Kit Kat kind of forced into this awkward build of going Kraken Slayer into Lord Dominic's regard. And I don't know how I feel about the Lord Dominic's, especially when nobody on the enemy team has really built a ton of armor aside from Give Me a Cup Twice with this death stance, but is just saying I need to be able to push through and deal as much damage as possible, which is also kind of what Napquan is saying right now.
Yep, the threat is always there. We've seen a ton of amazing hooks from Lost in Paradise, but again, it goes back to another point we brought up in Draft 2, which is everybody from the Astronauts have got to be on sync together, especially now that we're heading into late game. 28.5 minutes so far in this one, and it is getting extremely close. Back and forth so far. Astronauts held the lead for a long time. Razorbacks are trying to take it back at the current moment, but it's about the syncing up. We saw it right there in that last team fight for the Razorbacks, where they finally found the formula. They finally cracked the code there, Becky, where, okay, we just gotta smash our Arkeys together, and it's gonna work out great, especially when Cup lands those massive ultimates. For Astronauts, cannot get caught out like that again. Need to spread out a little bit wider, because you know the AoE clumped up team fights is what the Razorbacks want from you every single time. So with Dragon up in a minute 30, it's gonna be another shot for the Astronauts to go for this Infernal Soul, but Baron could be a potential answer as well for either one of these teams. And with the strength and the damage that we're seeing on both sides, these buffs are going to be huge.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see exactly where they put a lot of those. Looks like that blue buff is staying on Give Me a Cup twice and saying that they just want to make sure that those cooldowns, especially on that axe, are going to be as quick as possible. So that is putting like a lot of please do damage, Mr. Pony, onto Give Me a Cup twice. But hopefully it's something that they'll be able to make happen because you're trying to keep up with Lilia with the Leandries. So a lot of work cut out for this force.
I think though, the ability to follow up now, keeping an eye on the top side, i.e. Collector, Essence Reaver, plus a Dirk on Sakroza. We've mentioned the late game gangplank is going to be terrifying. We are getting to that point. I think about hitting that point, we just have to see one of the barrels what they actually can do to one of these teammates. Keep your eyes peeled for that as Goldfan gets some more swirling seeds down. Dragon up in 30 seconds here, as the astronauts are going to make their way through the jungle, clear out the vision, get as much control as they possibly can. And that Razorbacks taking the time, being careful, do not want to go the direct route through that jungle. Definitely the smart plan to go for. Swirling Seed lands onto 2. Are they going to go for it? Lost in Paradise looking for that hook. Onto Web it goes. A little bit of damage coming on down. Lifting Lullaby still being held at the moment. But will they pop it? That's going to be the Terragulf as well. Goldfan pops the Lifting Lullaby, puts everybody to sleep. And the bullet time coming out on the Scrams will be able to dodge past it. Goldfan still fighting on out. Defoe going golden. In goes Cup with the Heckle Rim, with the jumping on top, the Pike with the stun. It's a shutdown for Lost in Paradise. Web trying to go to that back line right now. Goldfan shaving off 2 members. It's a double kill. They'll get picked off, but Nap1's there to clean it up. Shut down on the gangplank. It's an ace for the astronauts, and the world is their oyster right now, Becky.
Wow, I mean, great job. They learned a lot from that previous Whomping that they took, and thank goodness that they did. And I think they are also at the point where Goldfan has said, I'm okay to kind of be this sacrificial lamb, or fawn rather, and be the person that just has to go in, apply these seeds to as many people as possible. And you see exactly how that just happened. And sure, that bullet time did end up kind of waking everyone up out of that sleep, but we can see that Stone Kit Kat wasn't really the star of that fight any which way to begin with. We took 1 barrel shot and had to just yeet ourselves out of that fight. Leave it to all the tankier players who are able to really get that damage across, and they make it happen. And I think the only one that I'm kind of surprised about is Webb somehow isn't able to find that final bit of damage onto Defoe and get that. But other than that, great job from astronauts being able to position far better in that fight and be able to make sure that they didn't have quite as disastrous of an onslaught as previously.
I just loved that Lilting Lullaby, using it as soon as I believe hold on, just a name check real quick here. Cosmic Radiance was used because, yeah, perfect timing to make sure that's shut down. But speaking of, Lost in Paradise has gone ahead and done a little bit more, bit of an assassination out there as Lilting Lullaby. Speaking of, coming through once again, will be Zani's popped on Sub Shadow through multiple members of the Astronauts Cup all the way in the back line as the Mega for Death Bond comes down. But for now, they stay alive. Nope, taken down. Shut down goes to the Digs. The Sonic picks up more. Terragulf is being bumped again. Nap1 is going off, though. It's a double kill for him. Looking for Sonic in the back line. Draws him on insta. Bullet time. Stone Kit Kat secures that one. 1 more auto to get the double kill on the Terrag. And it's another ace for the Astronauts.
And that is rough to say the least for this Razorback squad. They'd previously been able to get themselves that gold lead right back. And the moment that astronauts figured out how to fix their previous error, they've been able to take it right back here and now are ahead by 3K. And it's really off the back of, honestly, I'm going to go ahead and say it, Napquan has been in the right place at the right time, soaking up a lot of that damage, as well as, once again, Goldfan saying, I know that sometimes I'm going to have to die in these team fights as long as I'm able to apply that CC and I'm doing my job, which has exactly been the case. All is going to be well.
I'm just keeping my eye on these cannon barrages. Every single time they've been coming out, especially now past the 30-minute mark, they have been doing so much damage. But you see, astronauts just kind of scoot out of the way of that. As long as they're split up, right? They're not clumping as much together, and they've definitely learned from those early game fights. But here we see syncing up together, being on the same page. It's working out for them, Becky, really well.
Yeah, and you've got to always applaud a team across any game that's able to adapt on the fly, and so far so good. Razorbacks do the same. They're all together and thinking about going for this little bit of a Baron fight. Unfortunately, they are facing down that Infernal Soul, so a lot is going to be made difficult. Oh, that Infernal Soul alongside those Leandries. Pack a punch.
Oh, Lost in Paradise they got a little bonk on the head there. Lost almost half their HP, but thankfully Pike passive will bring back a good chunk of it. The dance will continue now in the mid lane. Elder is up in 240, but like you said, Baron is on the board right now. Let's see if they're going to be able to catch Webb out. Lost in Paradise might be the one getting caught. Webb getting the kill there. Vanguard Edge will be popped. We are going to see the Cryo Phoenix pop in their ult. And staving off members now. Look at Napquan finding members, comes on out. Onslaught shot, trying to get out of here. Bullet time will help on out to the foe. Picks up one. Napquan gets the second. Is he going to get any more? Yes, he will. It's a double kill for them. Gold looking for some of their own, saying, hey, listen, I may have died the past few fights, but I'm going to pad some of my numbers too. Picks up a couple kills. It's only Grams. I do apologize for the name pronunciation here. Only the Tarek remaining here, and unfortunately, as a Tarek, not too much you can do to stave off this dive, as they are just going to be eviscerated. The ace, once again, for the Astronauts is picked up. Napquan gets that kill. Turrets are down. The Nexus is gone, and it's GG.
Goodbye, Napquan. And GG to the side of Astronauts. I'm gonna go ahead and do my little bit of a flex because that one I called. Even though I know after we finished through Champ Select, I was a little bit worried about exactly how that was gonna go, but we anticipated the side of Astronauts needing to get ahead early, needing to push their advantages as much as possible, and thankfully they were able to do that. And I was a little bit worried about that Hecarim versus that Lilia pick, because sometimes that can be a little volatile, but it's just so hard. Once you have a Lilia that finishes that Leandries, I believe, like, super early, like between 10 and 15 minutes, you just, like, what exactly are you supposed to do? That Lilia is doing so much damage across so much of the map, has so much move speed. Like, finish that Leandries after having built Lucidity Boots first. That's a lot of gold on that Lilia. So big applause to Gold Fan, who did the most damage on the team, kind of to the surprise of no one. You do have that Leandries that's being able to pump through a ton of damage. But then I also got to give a huge applause to Napquan as well. Did a ton of damage, has a great KDA, and was just being that kind of annoying bruiser that was needed from that Aatrox in every single one of those fights.
Napquan has always been super confident, just go-to top laner, and showing us again why you can just kind of toss him on whatever he wants up in that top lane. Say, hey, just give me this. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. That is Napquan's style, and it worked out really well going on the Aatrox. Again, we had our doubts coming into this draft. It's like, okay, Razorbacks have got themselves a really strong team fight, but the way that the Astronauts played, they played around all those wombo combos so well. They played around the damage really well. Honestly, a lot of dodging of skill shots I saw from Golden Fan and Lost in Paradise. They were just dipping and ducking and diving between everything they could possibly see. I would say the same for Cup as well too, but there was a lot of stuff flying around out there, and Astronauts did really well to kind of avoid as much as they possibly could.
Did do a phenomenal job, and Astronauts giving themselves a nice pat on the back at the end with this dub, and do even the score. Both of these teams going to be 3-1 now after this match.
Both of them. Oh, true. Yes, because Razorbacks were 3-0. No longer, right? We start to get the data starts to even out after week one. Not always the case. Sometimes you get those super teams that come through, but definitely we got two banger teams here tonight that performed well. I would say everyone had an amazing moment out there, but shout out to the Astronauts for taking down the undefeated Razorbacks and getting themselves to that 3-1 status. We'll have to keep an eye out for how the rest of the games go tonight. Maybe some updates if the standings are getting updated. But for now, we're going to take ourselves a quick little break as we get ready for game 2. But as we do, make sure to get your votes in the Twitch chat. Let us know who you think deserves MVP from game number 1. Of course, this is coming from the winning team, so all the names you see that are going to be up there are coming from the Astronauts roster in Game 1. Other than that, we'll chat a little bit more about that one when we come back, and of course about Game 2 between Hammerheads and Bandits coming up soon. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. If we keep it pretty easy in the early game, we should be fine. The exception might be in the top lane where we see Napquan tends to be pretty confident in his plays. A little bit of trading though in the bot lane as Grams is going to get hit by the Esports from East. Slowed on down. More autos coming through. Stone KitKat changing intention on the Sonic, who has no mana, but look at Lost Paradise going on in. The exhaust is going to come down. The Derek stun will land. Stone KitKat's got to walk up the fall. The Pike double stun will land its first blood for the Astronauts, going to Stone KitKat.
Yeah, very nicely done from Lost in Paradise there.
That Cryo Phoenix picks up a kill for the Razorbacks. They're now on the board. Don't know if we're done doing the dance yet. Cannon Barrage was used to kind of keep the rest of those Astronauts off. But Napquan now rotating down. You have Cup waiting in the wings. Going to be coming in as well too. Aurelius Stun will not land. The Golden Fan knocked on back. No mana to follow up on that. Web gets hit by the knockup from Napquan. Derek Stun will not be enough. Napquan's venture to the mid lane pays off.
Yeah, very nice turn there, and Napquan right place, right time. You can tell that Webb wasn't really expecting for that top laner to be moving down and be going to need it. If you have a Gangplank on the other side, they're just able to impact the map so much, and you need to have a strong top laner to just be a nuisance for the rest of the game. The thing that I am worried about is I don't know if Astronauts are ahead enough for the insane team composition that Razorbacks have, and Lost in Paradise trying to make something happen against Webb, but Webb is just so strong on this Irelia. Gets that. Oh my goodness. Sakroza on the other side of the map. Oh my goodness. Just damage is going to be able to rack up and really just stop any sort of these like bruiser tank builds that we're going to be seeing from the Gangplank or the Hecarim or even the Irelia, as once again they know that Sakroza's flash is down. Nothing is available. And Sakroza's just getting run down. Oh!
In comes Cup with the onslaught of shadows. Will it be enough to save his teammate? No! Let's step from below. And taking on out. Lost in Paradise will share the load, share the gold with their teammate. That was extremely close. Really great effort from. And they're landing their skill shots. They're getting it done and making sure to feed that gold into the team with the ability of Pike's ultimate. So it's just been really good so far. And you can see, again, those two holding hands together as they set up for this next dragon, which is going to be a Hex Tech. I wonder what soul we're going to get. Unfortunately for Napquan, though, he's in serious trouble as 3 members of Razorback diving on the top side of the map. Cup is going to go down, though. He's able to get one. The girl that takes a turret shot. Napquan with the World Ender survives. And he goes forward to pick off a second 1v3. Passive out of there will help on out. Defoe is now roamed on down. See the barrel set up. Will at least land one. Defoe Web coming around as well too. Gets the lockup. In they go. That's Anivia passive down. Golden Fan will get the double kill. Finishes off Scrams as well. As they're spinning around, they're doing so much damage. That's Deathsmith from below. Picking up the kills on Lost in Paradise. Web now down to just a sliver. We got Napquan doing Napquan things over here with that Aatrox Sonics. Breaking legs out here. Can he hold on? Blast Plant is right there. Back and forth. He takes it, and then he takes the auto. It's an...
They continued to stay in a fight despite Stone KitKat and Lost in Paradise being able to come back from base / resurrected from that first initial fight. That was the whole reason Razorbacks were down there.
This is getting really scary for the Razorbacks. Lost in Paradise. Those hooks are becoming more and more threatening. Don't know about that bullet time. His Cup is going to be picking up that kill with the help of Sonic. So Gold Fan with the Lilting Lullaby puts Sonic to sleep and puts him in the ground as well. Gold Fan picking up their 6th kill of this game. 6-0-4. Now quite easily there. The duo of the Hecarim and Irelia easily able to pick that one up. But more importantly, so they're like, hey, you know what? You got Stone KitKat. Guess what? We're sitting on Soul Point right now for the Infernal Soul. Baron's on the map right now, and Gold Fan sees a very low Web right now. Gonna toss the Spell Seed out, and that's all it takes.
Web walked back into it.
He's not done yet, though. Lilting Lullaby down onto the Ziggs. Onslaught of Shadows to get on out, but there's nowhere you can go. Mega Infernal Bung comes down, but Gold Fan, legendary 8-0. I said not to overcommit. I think now's the time to actually commit as much as you can because this is Infernal Soul here for the side of the astronauts. We're going to go ahead and start this up, and we are going to have a big team fight on our hands in just a couple seconds. On goes down from the shadows. Kingdom Hearts coming on down. Plus the Aurelia ult. Astronauts are holding on, but those health bars are getting low. Lilting Lullaby puts multiple members to sleep, but Razorbacks find the kills. They find the team fight. They find Napquan. And it's shutdowns across the board. It's 4 members of the astronauts wiped, and Razorbacks walking on down. Lifting Lullaby still being held at the moment. But will they pop it? That's going to be the Terragals as well. Gold fan pops the Lifting Lullaby, puts everybody to sleep, and the bullet time coming out on the Scrams will be able to dodge past it. Gold fan still fighting on out. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to week 2 of VAD, Victoris Amateur Draft League. We just got through game number 1, and you at home in the Twitch chat voted on your MVP. Let's bring it on up here from game number 1 of the astronaut, none other than Napquan on the Aatrox up in that top lane. Oh my god, Becky. 11, 2, and 8. Absolute beast. He's insane.
Yeah, did a great job of being important in the early game and being able to take down some kills along with Lost in Paradise and Goldfan, and then also just being exactly where he needed to be in that late game as well. So just a stellar job coming through on this Aatrox from Napquan, definitely deserving of this MVP to start our night off.
Yeah, really well done. Congratulations to the astronauts on their win tonight and to Napquan on the MVP. But we are just about to get going for game number 2 of this evening. It is going to be the Hammerheads taking on use my brain bandits. Yeah, we got some, just a few brain cells up there, maybe, question mark. Very excited to see this one taken off here. We got full rosters across the board, some familiar faces. Dream Unforgiven back in the league after a year off, and I'm very excited to see if we see his Heckram tonight. Fingers crossed. Melly G, former champion from Winter Split, finalist from the summer, gonna be in the mid lane as well too. Sniper Borica is back once again with ADHD graphics as their support. We got Weehaw over on the jungle for the side of the bandits. The Kumi in the mid lane. The lovely caster and ref of LCS, just saying. Regdor in the bot lane along with Amato, also known as Overcomer, our longest standing VAD player, has been around since day number 1. Lots of big names here. Lots of big stuff can happen. I don't have an update yet of what happened in game number 1 for both these teams, but I'm sure we'll get it at some point throughout the evening. Standings are coming in, stats are coming in, but players are here and ready to go. Any thoughts, Becky, before we send it off to draft about this next game we're about to see?
Whoa, I have one thing, and it's just like, you're ready to see a lot of these players, so you go ahead, you take a look at their OPGGs, and you're like, okay, what have you been playing recently? What are your KDs recently looking like? And let's just say I hope some players have some better luck in this game than they've been having in some recent games, and that could make for a very interesting match that we're about to see.
Absolutely. Definitely got my eyes on the jungle here and mid, because Dream and Melly G have been absolutely massive. I would expect, Sniper and ADHD graphics to be picking something that's going to be just like this the entire time. Really strong together, especially when Sniper's enabled. It can be really nasty out there. Definitely, flip side, I think both bot laners are looking strong. Regdor has been performing really well on the bandits. So we get to see what is about to be coming through, because here we go for draft. Hello to all the players. Hi, specifically Overcomer, who asked me to shout out to. Hi, Overcomer. We're ready to go for a draft of game number 2. So these teams are going to be queuing up in just a second here as we are going to get these picks. We are going to get these bans. As here we go. Game number 2 of the evening. Expecting big stuff. Some big picks. I already mentioned the Heckram for Dream. Again, hopefully these teams have done their homework. He tends to bring out some pretty great stuff. Did really well actually in the exhibitions. I believe went 5 and 6. Or 5 out of 6 games. Yeah, they won. Played different junglers every single time too, which really shows how much Dream has expanded the champion pool. So even if you take away his Heckram, which they have just done, it's there's a few other options there that Dream could definitely look at. As the Yon Fiora also going to be banned.
Whoa. Absolutely no swords people in this game.
Oh, not allowed. No swords. All sharp objects must be left in the bin.
Yep.
Take out the brothers. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, in my ranked games too, take them out. Get them out of
Yep.
here.
It's just
Azir, rightfully
kind of a
banned away.
swords person. Not really.
Kind of.
Has
Their
a
minions have
scepter.
spears. Yeah,
Yeah,
close
there we
enough.
go.
Pointy object. Melly G did play that Azir, I believe, last week. Did really well on it, and
And last
definitely,
season.
definitely right to take that away. Seraphine, again, another blue side Seraphine ban, which makes you question, Becky, what
Come
do the Hammerheads got cooking
on.
up for this B1? What is it gonna be?
I mean, we saw a spicy one in the last game that we played. We weren't expecting to see the Seraphine ban there either. So, I mean, and it's almost the exact same thing. Which, yeah, I'm doing the same thing. This time,
Huh?
Rektor plays MF, but
Uh-huh.
also, like, plays Jinx and Samira, which, like, both are very fine to pick into MF, in my opinion. Like, in fact, I'd happily play Samira into MF. So, this maybe is a little bit of an interesting pickup alongside a Senna, and we'll see if that actually ends up going to Amato or Regdor and how exactly they're going to be handling how those souls get placed in this game.
That's gonna be a big one. We'll have to do the constant updates on the Cinestacks. It might seem weird, and I think at first I'm like, you know what? That's so crazy that it almost looks like the exact same start to the draft that we had
It
last game.
does.
But Sniper Borka, Misfortune, those two go hand in hand together. He has shown us how good his Misfortune has grown over time here, and it is absolutely deadly if left unchecked. So maybe send a long range, maybe some stuns. They're going to be able to deal with that. Having the Lux there as well too. Will it be mid for the Kumi? Potentially, because I do believe he brings out those champs from time to time. But this is a champ I have not seen in a hot second. The old Thresh there, as much as my heart does feel for him, back to the Mato days. Oh my goodness, it is going to get locked in. I do have some
Wow.
concerns about Thresh, but it is
It's a
very
counter to
dependent.
Senna.
Yeah.
Clearly, lore counter.
It's lore.
But, you know.
Makes sense. Okay, yeah. You know what? All I said, rewind it back, scrub the
Yeah, I
scrub
have,
the
I have
tape
to
there.
fix saying that it is it's a lore counter in particular. You're so excited about the Zudir pick. I didn't even think that it's not a pick. Okay. We were hopes dashed, and it's fine. I think the Jarvan, great pickup. We're doing some boxing in for the enemy team here. Hammerhead's trying to keep all of these little raccoons together in a single place, and likely just trying to lock down for Sniper Borica as much as possible. And we talked so much last game about how exactly you have to try and go for those potent MF ults, and so far being set up for success. Yeah, tell us about this, Kane. Tell us about it. Let's go,
Pretty
Gurf.
spicy. That's pretty spicy. I'm honestly, I'm a little bit of a loss for words, other than damn, that's spicy. Again, very snowball reliant. You gotta get your form as fast as possible. That is really where we see Kane succeed here in the VAD, is when they get ahead, when they get their form early. I'm thinking, based on this team, we already have that Thresh Jarvan there. Red form is most likely going to be the case we see here. Generally the case, unless you have a bunch of squishes on the opposite side saying, okay, you know what, I'm just going full Assassino out here. So can be really good for setups, can be really good in terms of making use of the roams and just being in people's faces. But that's the thing, is where is that king going to go? Because now you have a Thresh in the bot side that essentially says, no thank you. I'm going to flay you away. No thanks, I'm fine. Jarvan, which, yes, locks him down with the Cataclysm, but Kane has wall hacks. So it shouldn't be too much of an issue, especially with the Umbral Trespass. Can be really, really good in terms of avoiding a lot of that CC, a lot of those actual walls that get placed around him. So again, kind of a question mark so far on that. It is very dependent on how this early game goes for Weeha, who is going to be piloting this Kane.
Yeah, and a lot of top lane bans coming out. Mordekaiser, Gangplank, Yorick, Irelia. Absolutely no top lane. Well, I mean, obviously some top laners still remain, but a lot of attention being thrown there. And this is going to be an interesting team composition. Kale, the next to be picked up. Certainly interesting, not really very enabling of this Kane being able to gank. And normally you would kind of want some attention towards a CC heavy top laner to allow for Kane to be able to get that form as quickly as possible. It also does make me wonder if maybe this Lux is meant to be supporting and also going to be the one that's farming. Is a possibility, or at least as a flex pick, as Set is the other one that gets locked in. I could quite like that pick, and if Set's able to pull that Kale in, things can get kind of disastrous for Kale pretty quickly.
And this is what I was
Karthus
waiting for.
in mid?
This is no. That is not a Karthus. Maybe.
Where else
Unless
is Jarvan gonna go? Unless it's Set mid,
Jungle.
Jarvan top.
It'd be Karthus jungle, if anything.
Yeah, so then where's Jarvan going?
That's a great question, right? Because I'm kind of looking at the rest of the team. Doesn't make sense. Maybe not.
Ooh.
Karthus hover there. I was maybe having a glimpse of hope. Maybe they're doing something spicy, putting Dream back on his Karthus, which he does in fact play. I think he even has an emote here on the Twitch channel for Karthus. So yeah, Vladimir is going to be the lock-in here for Melly G. But it does raise some concerns. I can see some both parts. Not so much concerns about the Vladimir. I'm more rewinding back to the Kale pick and the Set, which is most likely going to be meeting up in the top lane. Kale, again, very reliant on getting those early kills, at least making it to the late game as net neutral would be the best outcome possible. But you look at what the Bandits have drafted here, late game, scaling with a little bit dash more of late game. This is what they're setting up for. The Kayn, hopefully there to, shave off a couple minutes if you can help get the Kale of Vigar an early kill at some point. But it is very, very much in the Bandits' hands to say, okay, we need to play super duper safe until we hit our power spikes, until we hit our level 16s, until Vigar has 1200 AP and can just one tap anything that looks him the wrong way. That is very much in their hands to deal with that. Do have late game scaling in terms of the Vladimir over on the side of the Hammerheads, but I think they're going to be able to start these fights up a little bit more quicker than the Bandits can.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I do believe that this Veigar is meant to be a support, and going along with that, Senna is going to be able to do some farming. So I actually quite like that mixture there. Andy is going to be hard pressed as a Kale up against the Set, but for Weehaw actually has quite a few games on the Kayn. It is most played in solo queue for Weehaw, so somebody who very comfortable on that Kayn and likely is going to be giving a lot of attention to that bot lane, because if that Veigar is able to get that cage in an ideal place, like, it's just going to be so hard for MF or Thresh even to be able to escape that really well. So that likely is where Weehaw is going to be focusing to try and achieve form as quickly as possible. I do worry a little bit about how kind of AP heavy Bandits are leaning, and maybe just Melly G is going to be able to be like, Hex Drinker, what are you going to do about me? I don't know.
Yep, Merc Treads, what now? Okay. And honestly, yeah, that is a reasonable concern. Especially in this early game, because Senna as well is going to take till late game to really Senna past 100 stacks becomes absolutely just terrifying to deal with. But in the early game, the most of that damage, yeah, is you're absolutely right. You're going to be coming from that Lux, going to be coming from that Vigar. So how is that early game going to go for them? Again, I've got my concerns. I was proved definitely super wrong last game. And you know what? I'd be definitely surprised to have that again. It's always a pleasant surprise when you get that turnaround, the unexpected results. But Hammerheads right now, I think they put together themselves a really, really strong mid-game comp. And at that point, if you can kind of shut the doors on any potential late-game scaling, if you can end this game before you hit that 30-minute mark, I think that's what the Hammerheads are more inclined to do, to say, hey, we don't have to worry about late-game scaling if this game doesn't go late.
Yeah, and the other thing that is going to be a huge kind of nail for Bandits is that if you're playing something like that Veigar, you're playing something like that Lux, and kind of even the Kale, you're looking for some easy prey, and that isn't really anyone for the side of Hammerheads. They're two bruisers, a tanky support, and then this weird kind of tank mage that Vladimir gets to play a lot of the time, and so you're going to be putting a lot of attention towards Sigma. But if this Thresh is doing a good job in ADHD graphics, is able to just say, okay, then I'm gonna go wall up. You're slowed if you're trying to get anywhere near my AD carry. Like, Sigma just gets to then drop the bullet time, and all of a sudden, all of the attention that you're trying to get onto this MF is a little more hard pressed. So the lack of tank also is a little bit of a concern for me from Bandits. They don't really have anybody who's going to be able to just like get in the middle of the Hammerheads and try to be a nuisance. Like that's going to, I guess, be Weehaw, but
Yeah.
not really what you want your Kane to be doing. You want your Kane to be going in wall hacking and trying to take down the 80 carry so that you don't get bullet timed all to death. So I'm a little concerned.
Yep. That's definitely the hope. If Weehaw can get in there, red form does give you that extra little bit of survivability, especially if you're all clumped in there and spinning around. Hopefully, but yeah, early on it is going to be very tough to deal with that. This is oh yeah, this is definitely looking. I gotta give the draft over to Hammerheads. They just have themselves some really good wombo combo. Again, back to my point I made in the first game too, which is you can take, any two of these players out here, and they will be able to find picks. They will be able to win those 2v2s if you end up in that situation. And again, while as much as I have my concerns for Bandits, it is as much on the Hammerheads here to be the ones initiating the plays, right? You can't just sit back and hope that the Bandits mess up, because they've got it in their heads to say, okay, we're gonna take it easy, we gotta farm up, we gotta scale, we cannot be the ones to start these fights off. Can we potentially punish if you look for dives? Yeah, there's a lot of CC in that bot side of the map, 100%. So Hammerheads have to be smart with their initiation. Again, as long as they're able to sync up their ults and their abilities and their CC, it is going to be, I would think, a much more favorite game for them. But again, it's got to be smart plays. It's got to be synchronized plays, and they got to be the ones to initiate it before things get too late. But Becky, any final thoughts, points, predictions about this game before we send it off to break?
I think I'm giving my points over to Hammerheads as well. I think that we were talking about it a lot with the previous draft that we saw, and we weren't really able to see Razorbacks get themselves to that late game. And I think that Bandits picked an even later game composition, and it's going to be even harder. And I just am a little bit feeling like you're going to be hard pressed to make it work. So giving it over to Hammerheads, and would love to be proven wrong, but we just got to wait until we get down into game to see how that exactly is going to go.
Exactly. Only a few more minutes to go here. We're going to take ourselves a quick break while we get ourselves set up for game number 2. Make sure to get those predictions in. They should be open up in Twitch chat, so let us know. Is it going to be Hammerheads? Is it going to be Bandits here for the second game here of week 2? Week 2, game 2, coming to you soon. All right, guess what? We're back, ladies and gents. It's game number 2 here of week 2 in the VAD. Hammerheads versus Bandits. We've got Sigma, Dream Unforgiven, Melly G, Sniper Borka, and ADHD Graphics over on the blue side, as well as Andy Gwen, Weeha, the Kumi, Regdor, and Amato, also known as Overcomer, on the red side. So let's see how they're going to do, as we are going to get ourselves a little bit of a post up here in this bot side. Gonna be walking. Oh, wait a minute. Interesting angles here, Becky. Let's see if they can go fishing. Find one. Graphics flash forward. Oh, gonna pull the flash away from Regdor. Good attempt for the early game shenanigans, but no fish today.
Honestly, Regdor doing dabbing penguin after flashing away from the flash hook, like, I mean, I respect the flash coming up from ADHD graphics, especially when you have that hex flash, which I guess is one of the upsides to going up for that glacial augment, which we were talking about a little bit before loading into game, as something that we think is kind of interesting. Normally would have potentially wanted to go for something like an aftershock or a guardian, but is going for a little bit of that extra utility in getting it as well from being in that glacial augment tree.
It's definitely going to be an annoyance. Usually, I mean, this is what I was gonna say too, is I have not seen a Thresh be picked and ranked in norms in a long time. And it's not so much that Thresh isn't a good champion, it just seems like he hasn't really found his footing in 12-17. Might even have a little bit of extra spiciness here as Dream is looking for that early gank here. As in he comes, Regdor's getting jumped on by all 3 members. Ignite is going to be down as well too. Heal is popped, but it's first blood for the Hammerheads. Going on over to Sniper Borka on their patented misfortune pick. Great start for them.
I mean, I guess that's why you go for that aggressive flash hook at the start, is you force Regdor's flash, and then your jungler's like, oh, I do know that that flash is down. I might as well just immediately swoop down by bottom lane. No way anyone is going to expect this. Pretty much an easy pickup for the start here on Hammerhead's side.
High risk, high reward, but when it pays off, especially in a game like this where you know you have to be pumping it all the time, flat out, the entire time this game is going, is really awesome to see. Dream Unforgiven saying, hey, you know what? Make sure to get this bot lane rolling. Let's make sure to get this misfortune big. We are going to be rolling as you do see the tail end of that and potentially the start of another kill here.
Wow.
You saw on the bottom left corner of our screen, Regdor going down once again. Sniper now up 2-0. We're only 3 minutes in this game, Becky.
We're only 3 minutes into this game, and Regdor is still level 1. That hurts so much, and Weeha's gonna try and stem some of this bleeding for the Bandit side. Try to just make things a little more difficult for Dream, but Dream, flag and drag to a safety. Don't even have to worry about it. And Sniper Borka, you mentioned a powerhouse on this MF, and starting off this game, 3 minutes in, 2 kills. It doesn't get much better than that.
I'm looking for a double longsword plus the dagger. Not too bad of a start. They are going to be even more scary in that bot lane as we see Sigma now trading out with Andy. Ooh. Holy moly, that did a bunch of damage. Weeha, though, up in the top lane looking to answer this over aggressiveness from Sigma. Should be able to pick up that solo kill. Not so much solo. Conquer stacks come through, and Weeha is the savior here to Andy in the top lane. Saves that one for now. Keep your eyes on mid lane, though, as we're going to have Flag and Drake, flash for flash coming through. ADG Graphics trying for the death sentence, not able to land that one. Binding will come through. Dream will just take a little bit of a poke before going back into their own jungle. So we see across the board, a lot of stuff has happened so far. We're just a few minutes into this one. Dragon coming up now in 30 seconds, and the Dream on this side of the map. Wouldn't be too surprised to see these junglers meeting up once again.
Yeah, and I mean, this is quite a start, and everyone on Hammerhead seems to just be so aggressive with their flashes. The only person who hasn't flashed this early in the game is Melly G, and that's kind of anticipated. You're just trying to play a really safe game on that Vladimir in the meantime, and
the play on back, baby! Oh! Clean with it out there.
I mean,
graphics.
I said that Thresh was the counter to Senna, and you know, I rest my case.
It's in the lore, Becky. You said it.
You can't beat the lore.
Oh my goodness, it's coming true right in front of our eyes, right? Showing us why. why they set up the story that way, but that was just, again, really good setup. Not even afraid of the cage coming through from Vigar. So just really well done, really punishing on this bot lane. That flash is still down, and I think Dream's been down here two and a half times at this point. Again, just making really good use of their plan going into this, say, hey, we need to make sure this game closes out before we get to late game. See, the level 6s are going to be coming through soon as well. Both the mid laners have them at the current moment. And Weehaw lurking on the bot lane, maybe trying to help their bot lane get a few of those levels that they so desperately need.
Yeah, unfortunately, being a little bit safe is going to be great for the side of Hammerheads. They do a nice little schmoove back and don't have to worry about Weehaw's presence at all, as we are able to finish that noon quiver onto this MF as well. Once again, going for that press the attack and rocking that exhaust as well, whereas Regdar and Amato, something very different as far as their summer spells are concerned.
Yeah, for Amato right now, which again, if it is going to be him as our, like in support position, APC, we know how it goes with the Starving Senna build here. So at the end of the day, Regdar getting picked off, not the end of the world for him, but the more concerning fact is who has got the gold on the other side of the board. ADHD Graphics, again, looking for more ganks, looking for more roams, not able to land that hook there. Back to the bot side, it's going to be, again, very interesting how those TPs are applied. We know late game, Vigar's autos do so much damage to some of these towers, but it's about actually getting there and being able to utilize that damage. However, another fight in the top lane. Sigma looking to go in on Andy Gwen once again. Needs to be cognizant because Weehaw is right around the corner once again. That's going to be the showstopper to try and get him out of distance, but Divine Judgment comes down and Andy Gwen will secure that kill. With Weehaw just picking up the assist at the tail end of that one.
Yeah, honestly, Weehaw just like getting into wherever anyone on the Bandit side of the field is fighting and being in the places to get this damage racked up and try to acquire this form is going pretty well, all things considered. And just being able to pick that up here and there, make some things happen where you can, that's pretty much all you can ask for. And we do need to see Weehaw kind of hit form soon. We mentioned that it has to be pretty quick, especially considering that Weehaw is going to have to be the bruiser for the Bandits team.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of damage needs to be soaked up by that Kayn. I think Divine Judgment too, showing us a little preview into how useful that ability is going to be for the Bandits in these upcoming fights. But so well done on the top half of the map so far for the Bandits to make sure, hey, we're getting gold into the pockets of Weehaw, we're getting gold into the pockets of Andy Gwen, and that is where we want to be in terms of this early game. Yes, bot lane was a little bit unfortunate in those few early minutes. Hail, late game can be absolutely nasty. We even see Andy picking up a call at this point. Usually a little late for that, but hey, if you know the game is to sit under tower and farm your face off, not the end of the world right here. Dream, though, along with ADHD Graphics, going for that Herald and Becky. That is one thing I want to point out as a great support move. They went back, looked for the roam, and said, okay, we want to go for a roam towards this Herald. And being there just in case that Weehaw happens to show up is so clutch to have the extra numbers. Graphics, though, walking down the mid lane, and unbeknownst to the side of the Hammerheads, that Dragon's being scooped up right underneath their noses.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Weehaw going down towards that bottom lane, was potentially going to go for a 3v1 gank, but ADHD Graphics doesn't even think to check the Dragon. They just think that the bottom lane is backing off and they push the turret, so a nice pickup from the Bandits to kind of answer that Rift Herald take from the Hammerheads earlier on in this game. And I also have to point out some pretty great vision happening for the Bandits too. They did a good job of being able to see exactly where that thrush was, know where a lot of that movement was happening, and doing as good of a job as they can be with how even this game is right now.
Yeah, pretty close here. Only 100 gold, 200 gold for the Bandits right now, which is realistically not that much, but looking at who's got the gold. My eyes right now are on Sniper, 1200 sitting in the wallet right now, and definitely going to be looking strong once that mythic is through, once the bullet time is, well, I mean, bullet time is available. So we're going to get to see that hopefully very soon, paired up with that Thresh. You get the death sentence, you actually take the Q, and you box them up. That is just free gold for Misfortune for whatever case you're going into. Mize, though, on this mid lane, it's been a little quiet in the early stages of this game. But as always, hold on, Amato, whoa, he's gone! Sniper Vorka picks up a kill there. Bullet time was used, and it might have been off screen, but it doesn't matter because Sniper now with all the kills on the Hammerheads, 100% KP alongside ADHD graphics. This bot lane for the Hammerheads is just popping off, Becky.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about how the mid lane was looking a little bit snoozy, but that's kind of what you're gonna expect if you see somebody like the Kumi picking up a Lux and you're like, what can I pick that is still some AP damage for my team, but is gonna be able to be really safe and not really ever die to the Lux? Vladimir is certainly the pick, and with Melee G having that on the field, you do kind of expect the first part of the game to kind of be a snooze fest until you're able to just be a part of those team fights and get a bunch of damage off on that Vladimir.
Best part is, as soon as I said that, bot lane's like, hey, look at this, look at me.
Yeah, you wanted aggression? We got you.
We got you. You want to no problem. It's awesome. Awesome to see. Sniper, though, currently by themselves because they know ADHD graphics is roaming, playing it nice and safe behind the back of the turret. Weehaw, though, is gonna get taken down. Dream Unforgiven picking up the kill there. I don't know if there was any extra assist to be handed on over. But graphics, wait, oh no, Amato, you're all by yourself. Victoris sniffed it out, but Amato stayed forward. Flag and drag knocked on up. Sniper with their 5th kill of the game. This misfortune is absolutely massive now.
I mean, that's kind of similar to what we saw in our first game, where we got to see one player just rack up a ton of kills early. Granted, last game it was Lilia. This game is going to be the MF, and we'll see. I mean, MF can't really do the same things as Lilia, so that could end up being something that actually ends up fighting Hammerheads. But at least having a lot of that damage on a character with a big ultimate that's going to be able to do a lot of damage to a lot of different players can be very useful. Gonna try it. So Weehaw here, give them off the stage.
I don't know how that dance is just gonna hit. I mean, somebody, Dawning Shadow is gonna come down though. Dream is low. Graphics trying to play the bodyguard here. The binding will go wide. TP even used from the Kumi to get down to this fight as 4 members in the bot half of the map here from Bandits. Gonna send back the pressure, but then again, bullet time will just simply clear that on out. Cage is gonna come down, but stepping into turret range, you do not do that around the thresh. Graphics is there to clean it up. A shutdown goes to the Kumi as Weehaw now takes a turret shot. Sniper picks up Breakdoor, but it's a double kill for Graphics. Flashing forward, has the play available, but they're just playing with their food at this point. They're gonna corner him in like a pack of lions, or even better, more like a school of sharks, if you're gonna call them that. More appropriate. Dream slams the jam, Cataclysm down, and picks up that kill. 10-3 for the Hammerheads.
Yeah, barely a pickup for the side of Bandits, finding a kill onto that Lux and that Kane finally being able to pick up that form. So a few little victories, but overall, probably not exactly how you intended that to go. Basically having all 4 of your players who went towards that bottom side dying in a 2v4 turret dive. Certainly a rough situation. Rektor took so much damage from that turret there. Holy smokes.
Yeah. Turrets don't mess around. They do not mess around anymore. And then at this point, you got nowhere to go. Kumi's kind of locked in here. It's like, okay, what are you going to do? Dream is here, and that is the skadoosh once again. Almost a kill we saw there in the bottom corners of our screen from Melee G onto the Kumi there in the mid lane. That back will not get stopped in time. He's going to make it back to his base. Dragon is on the board. It is going to be a nether Texas drag there as Andy Gwen getting jumped on right now by 3 members. Again, similar situation. Got nowhere to go. Divine Judgment comes on down. Andy Gwen at least able to pick up 1. Weehaw's here with the knockup. Dream trying the best to flag and drag. Look at the death sentence, but no follow-up available. Tried for the Cataclysm, but again, just out of range, just not enough time. And the most unfortunate thing, Becky, is that Cataclysm is going to be on cooldown now. Dragon is up. We see the pings coming down from the Bandits, and it would be very smart of them to go ahead and set this one up.
And it looks like they're going to be moving towards that sniper Porka, hopefully picking up this turret and then just backing as soon as possible. You don't want to be a casualty of this rotation, while the top side of the map is going to be capitalized on as well by picking up that Rift Herald. So nicely done from the rest of the Bandit squad, and a great pickup from Andy Gwen, who goes to being 2-0-2 after that.
Melly He takes out the dragon! He takes out the jungler, but the actual dragon secured by Sniper Borka with the bullet time! Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness,
wow.
a double kill picked up as well. This is travesty for the Bandits. They looked so good. They looked like they had the setup, but I don't believe they had enough vision behind the pit to secure that one safely, and unfortunately going to be punished with all the ultimates available from the Hammerheads.
Yeah, unfortunately, that this game is looking more and more like it is going to follow on Andy Gwen's shoulders alone, and that's a tall order for a single Kale, especially when you don't really have a tank to go in and just soak up a lot of damage, do a lot of CC, at least any amount of slowing. It's kind of heartbreaking to see that Andy Gwen is pretty ahead on something like a Kale, which you don't normally see being so ahead in the early game. And it's just going to end up being shut down by the rest of the team for Bandits not being able to keep up.
My goodness, the plays, the hooks. He's just there, sniper, and ADHD graphics. Remember when I did I know, Becky, you can see this point, but together, forever, these two have been side by side, with the exception of a few roams from ADHD graphics. Graphics has just been so good for setting up Sniper on the majority of these kills. 7-1 and 3 on there, 2-0 and 9 on the Thresh. So Melly D in some trouble in the bot side. Will go into the pool. It's knocked up, coming out. Killing Smite comes on down. That's going to be down. Trespass shut down to Weehaw. Plus a Rift Herald on the bot side of the map. We'll get a charge off onto that tier 2 tower. You have Dream Unforgiven, and I believe, yeah, Sigma down there to at least answer it. Well, we do see the rotation. Sniper up into the top lane to continue this farming, continue getting gold into their pocket. As for now, we get to take a short breath. Andy Gwen needs to be careful if Dream has the Cataclysm available. Oh no, I'm using it right now. Double knockout here. That's going to be a showstopper coming through for Sigma, but he's taken out by Andy Gwen. Double play on back into the box. Can Dream finish him off? It's a huge shutdown for him, and a double kill on the Weehaw. Dream cleans it up with the help of graphics.
Oh, but Kumi making a rotation up to the top side of the map was able to work alongside Amato. I mean, Final Spark as well as that Vigor ultimate, just a ton of AP damage, and you know that that MF is not building any amount of magic resist, so a beautiful kind of 1-2 punch from both of those mages moving up towards the top side.
Yeah, it's that damage equivalent to Catalina Lyman. Pow! So yeah, they did not mess around. It's ridiculous about their alt Cs combined. But huge shutdown again over to the Bandits here. It was the bot lane where we saw could have gone either way. Numbers advantage was switched right on over, but look how well graphics is doing to just CC everything in sight.
And it gets cleaned up by Dream. You'd maybe want some of that gold to end up going onto Sigma here. Unfortunately, Sigma is just continuing to do this role of tanky bruiser, can be building that orc first, I believe is what it looks like. And just trying to soak up some damage, maybe get some across as well. Just be that annoying set alongside Dream on this Jarvan. A lot of gold, and things that scare me are seeing a Kale at the top of any graph, especially pre like 30 minutes.
That is I know we used the word concerning, but I think a little bit more having yeah, like I said, Kale way up there. Another fight breaking out though. Final Spark lands onto 2 Primordial Burst to take out one of them, and Dream will drop as well. The Emerald Trespass used once again by Weehaw. And will that binding land the flash bar from Kumi? And they just send everything on top. Nowhere for Sniper to go. Regdor finally gonna get some retribution, picking up their first kill of the game. But that is 3 massive members of the Hammerheads that just got taken out, and Bandits showing us, hey, we are still in this game. And they actually take back the gold lead too, Becky.
Yeah, that is exactly what the Bandits team composition is going to be very good at doing, which is finding one piece of CC and just bursting you down as quickly as possible. They were able to do it with ADHD graphics, they did it with Dream, and they did it with Sniper Borica, and potentially Sniper Borica should have been like way further back, was just wrong place, wrong time, was trying to do some damage, but should have been moving away from the 4 people from Bandits incoming into their own jungle, and hopefully we can just keep that from happening again, because we really just need to get as much gold online to the Hammerheads players as possible so that they can start to work on this team fight axis, which is where they have strength.
Oh my goodness, they caught Andy Gwen out, but you see all the poke coming down from the Bandits. Gonna be able to secure that KO, but look at the health bars here for the side of the Hammerheads. Weeha's coming on over the wall. That hook's actually gonna be blocked up by a crunch. Says get down, Mr. President. And Sigma now with the showstopper. Weeha is taking the back line. Melly in the pool, soaking up some health with the Q. Dream Unforgiven getting the kill on the enemy jungler here. We're down to 3v5, still in favor of the Hammerheads. Amato though with a huge primordial burst takes it out. ADHD graphic sniper to answer it right on back. Dream is still on the chase. Cataclysm not available. Slowdown down by the fruit. Caught up by the binding. So much poke to slow these members down. Melly G is going to be forced to back on off. Final spark will catch him. Hits 2 more as well. Sigma sniper so damn low. Need to back on off. Flag and drag from Dream as Regdor now threatening the poke. If we could get a Senna count at this point on the stacks, 48. It's getting up there, Becky. It's going to get even scarier in just 12.
I mean, Bandit's team composition is basically just a ticking time bomb, because you have Senna, you have Veigar, and you have the Kale. And especially if we get to see 3 players just stand in the line of Final Spark like we just saw, Hammerheads maybe are going to have to kiss their little bit of a lead goodbye.
Switch now as Dream goes in, tries to go for the steal, but every single piece of CC that exists in the game of League of Legends just got applied to that Jarvan, so unfortunately, he ain't moving, he ain't smiting, he is taken out immediately. Second Dragon now picked up for the Bandits. We do have that Baron on the board, and a lot of big items coming through. A TP even being used by the Kumi to get down towards this mid lane. And that tier 1 tower is going to be going down no problem. Setup for the Baron should be sweet, but this was that fight that led into the Dragon that was huge.
And speaking of, and by huge, we mean it was so drawn out. It took so long. You mentioned that the primordial first takes care of the rest, but live is just a bloodbath between these 2 teams.
Oh my god. Everyone just got wiped out. Hammerheads are falling apart at the seams, Becky. What is happening?
That's what I'm wondering.
They had such good tempo. Bandits, though, even with the lead that was there, it was like, you know what? At this point, this is looking rough for Bandits. It is moving past the mid game. We are getting closer to where we can officially call it late game. They have found their footing, and I think a lot of these big shutdowns that Hammerheads have given over here have honestly gotten Bandits back into this game. You see they've taken the gold lead, they've taken the dragon lead, they have tied themselves in towers, and while the kills might not reflect it, the overall gold and items for these guys is really showing us what is occurring on this map. Yeah, Sniper's at the top there, but you see the next 3 members in terms of gold. Andy on the Kale, Kumi on the Lux, and Weeha on his Arcade. Absolutely unreal. Great stuff from the Bandits so far.
Yeah, spooky things are happening. We were kind of talking about it during Champion Select as well, where we were like, okay, yeah, Sniper is going to be kind of insane on this MF, and we've watched that kind of be the case in this early game off of some great work that ADHD Graphics was able to put together. But now this unfortunate reality is that there are basically 3 burst champions for the side of Bandits who are going to be able to just take down this MF no matter how fed we get on that champion. And that just kind of sucks for Sniper Borica. Is going to be able to hopefully get off as big of a bullet time as possible, but isn't going to be able to do a whole lot else. And when you're taking that press the attack, you're kind of hoping to sit in a team fight for a little bit longer.
At this point, Hammerheads can't quite keep going head-to-head against the Bandits here. Just too much CC, too much burst. They got to be smart with how they find their next pick. They got to be a little bit more intuitive instead of just throwing everything at him. I know that's what I said in the draft going in, but there's a lot of answers that the Bandits are, I would think, surprisingly and unexpectedly throwing here at the Hammerheads. You can see the Scuttles is being scooped up here. Baron is on the board. Next Dragon not for another 2 minutes, so this is going to be the big one. See if they set up for it. And another pick here for the Bandits would be huge. In they go, looking for ADHD graphics. The box will not be used. Well, different one. There's going to be the second box here, but it is to no success as Kumi will just take out the Thresh. And a huge final spark that chunk down these members of the Hammerheads. We are with the triple knockout Sigma to try to use a solid showstopper to get back. We all will get taken out by that turret, but it's a double kill for Amato. 4 members of the Bandits live, and it's almost an ace that comes through. You do have Nelly G on the other side of the map, but this should be Baron for Bandits.
Yeah, Melly G, I don't even think we're going to be able to get this turret down here. You're going to try and kill Amato, and that's going to be your little consolation prize for the rest of your team dying. So that shutdown's going to come through, but like all things considered, you're losing Baron. You lost 4 of your members, and I mean, I'm very impressed by Weehaw right now. I don't think this game is possible if Weehaw doesn't have this level of prowess on this Red Cane. The amount of confidence it takes to go in 1v3 and single-handedly hold down a Jarvan, a Set, and a Misfortune while the rest of your team focuses on killing a Thresh? Insane.
I love too the interference that he was running as well to say, hey, you know what, stay away from my team. But yeah, we are just sending it. Sending it! Oh my god, absolutely incredible to watch.
Yeah, that 3-player knockup, absolutely insane. And if Weehaw continues to play like that, Hammerheads may not have a shot at closing this game out, especially now that this KL is level 16.
Yep, it's here. It's happened. It's available. Level 16 KL, 27 minutes into the game with 3 kills and 3 items plus boots. This is where things are scary for Hammerheads. This is where they did not want to end up. Weehaw is still on the hunt for some more. It's going to be the Lantern taking a dream to keep themselves safe. You see that CC is just constantly being pumped out, as well as the poke taking Dream down to 2/3 of that health bar. Dragon on the board though, and a Mountain Soul to boot is going to be huge for the Bandits to stay in this game. We mentioned them not having a tank. Well, there you go. You apply that Mountain Soul, it's going to be huge for them. See if there can be a steal here. Nope, going to be scooped up nice and easy by Weehaw. Bullet time comes out. She does quite a bit of damage, but at this point, Bandits are looking comfortable. They're looking confident, and they are looking cool, calm, collected. I want to throw in all the additives there. They're looking really, really good out there and taking back the lead quite convincingly.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw that bullet time come out, and for being 10-5, I'm actually feeling a little bit underwhelmed at how much damage that bullet time just did, and that is kind of one of the places where you are potentially suffering from taking that press the attack instead of maybe just trying to be a little more shreddy with something like that Arcane Comic and going for that lethality build. But it's so hard to understand which one you should go. You're basically forced into one or the other based on whatever runes you end up taking, and then also picking up so many early kills. This Gale Force should have been the right call.
Might rear its head in the not right direction in a little bit, but yeah, you would think, you know, coming into this game, you see all these squishes, you're looking fine. Dream is looking for more, caught in the cataclysm is Amato, but the walls will come down. That mid tier 2 will also fall, but Hammerhead's able to find one, looking for a second. This thing goes Dream once again. Kumi getting low, final spark, not able to go off. Sniper Vorka will secure that one, but look from behind. Andy Gwen coming in with the rotations alongside Weehaw. The Dawning Shadow comes through. Dream is on the run. He takes one audible. Weehaw, you gotta know he's gonna be chasing all the way. Potentially scoop one up a free little blue buff there. Says, hey, you know what? I don't even have to worry about it. What they should be worried about is what's going on in the top half of the map. However, the rest of the Bandits pushing on that mid inhibitor tower. See if they're gonna go for that trade of inhibit towers.
Looks like that will be the case, and this Kale now at level 16 with this amount of attack speed certainly takes down a lot of these structures very quickly. We'll see if Sigma is going to be able to either get away or fight, and it looks like that's going to be hard.
It's going to be close. Here. Wait, nope, it's not.
Yeah, not close the moment that you add that Veigar to the mix.
It's like, oh damn, oh, that shield is kind of big. I'm like, oh, he's doing a lot of damage. Oh, Conqueror's procced. And then Amato comes in and just slam dunks on him with the Primordial Burst, as does the Vigar. Way she goes sometimes, but this game is on a knife's edge right now. Really, really close. We got that next Mountain Drake up in 2.5 minutes. And that could mean potentially the Mountain Soul here for the Bandits, but we have now officially crossed the 30-minute mark. This is where things get scary. And here's a little preview of what's soon to come in terms of what these team fights have been looking like back here.
Yeah, they have been pretty much bandit dominated, and they're just trying to bring it back into their favor. It has hammerheads, and that really is just coming based on how long they can keep Sniper Borica alive and how long they can fight without Andy Gwen just running through people. Each one of those auto attacks does so much damage.
Yeah, ridiculous. Level 18 kill. Level 18 kill. Oh boy. Oh no. That's scary. That is. Yeah, I think the concerns now, we're gonna shift them back to the side of the hammerheads, because this is getting very, very scary. As this game now in its we are a late game officially at this point. We can label it. We can mark it. Say, yep, we're here. Weehaw is gonna be baiting some members back here. And look, the rest of the bandits show up. See you later, Sigma. It's absolutely exploded by the final spark. Weehaw still on the chase, looking for some more. Gets the knock up on AD with some graphics, and the death sentence back into the box. But Unbolt Trespass will be used alongside Primordial Burst. Been so amazing. Divine Judgment used on a Weehaw. Will he survive? Wall hacks, maybe a wall hacks. He just scoots on out of there. Boot scooting his way across the rift, as they will survive for longer. All 5 members of the Bandits up Mountain in less than a minute, but do we make it there, Becky?
I don't even know, and honestly, yeah, bullet time can do a lot of damage, but if you are only really hitting one person and there's a tail on the enemy team, you don't even need to worry about it. And let's see if we can pick up Kumi with this Cataclysm, and the snare onto both. Oh no.
Not quite. Close but no cigar. Look at the stacks though, 211 on Vigar. I do believe that gets him to, what is this at this point? Yeah, he's got a little bit of magic damage at this point. Quick check, 464, not too bad, not too shabby at all. And I believe the Senna sitting at 99 stacks. Wow, one more. That's the big one. That is the scary one. If it wasn't scary already, Ragnar had a bit of a rough time in the early mid stages of this game. Now's the time where we get to see that Senna being able to step up and do some real nasty damage, as if the rest of the team already wasn't doing that, Becky.
And I think that they really have been able to bring this back into their favor off of the back of Weehaw and Andy just keeping themselves ahead in a lot of these situations. And really just that one fight where it was a 5v4, Melly G has Ignite and was bottom lane. They were all fighting around Baron, and Weehaw just ran circles around this Hammerhead squad and is gonna try and do it again, as this is gonna be their sole point.
Taking the time here, you see, the Hammerhead walking on up, taking the time. That sentence will land, but look at all the bursts from the side of the Bandits. Melly G has to go cold, and he's down to a sliver of health. We're gonna try the backside, Sniper Borica getting those autos off, but he's immediately taken down as well, too. Bandits find the team fight, they find the ace. Only losing one member, and that should just be game, Becky. They're on the inhibitors. We're 34 minutes into this game, and the death timers are extremely long at this point. Bandits, they turn things around, they hang on, and my god, they have themselves an amazing game.
Wow, I mean, A+ work from Weehaw and Andy Gwen in this game. Bandits bring it home, and I believe that this is an equalization of scores from these two. I guess we don't know what happened in the game that they played right before this one, but it might be an equalization. And applause to Bandits for taking that one home. Certainly a team composition that I was feeling very on the edge about, but Weehaw is the Kane that I want in all of my games.
Weehaw, there's a reason why there's so much Kane on his OPGG, and why it usually gets banned out around playoff time. That is the reason. When it gets through, my god, it worked out so well. It was just there all the time, setting up in the top lane for Andy Gwen on the Kale. Just really really amazing work from the side of the Bandits to make sure that top lane got ahead. But at some point, Kane made his way down to the bot side and looked upon what was there, said, not anymore. No, thank you. We're going to make sure to get some stuff happening in the bot lane as well. So really well done in terms of rotations. Again, I wasn't sure what time they actually got the form, but at that point, I was like, Kane's just been red form pretty much for the entire game for me, at least from my vision on this end. Just so good. Just so good. It started off so well for Hammerheads, but at what point did it go wrong, Becky?
I think the point that, again, I think the point that it went really wrong and that I think Bandits had full control over that game was towards that Baron fight. There was a moment where we just were like getting really into the thick of it, and right before it I was like, Meli-G is bottom, and I was like, oh, it's okay, Meli-G probably has teleport. And then I looked and Meli-G had Ignite. It was up, but it was Ignite and was not going to help the rest of the team that was hanging out towards Baron. And I was just like, oh no, this is how it all goes south. And then Weehaw just got to get that 3-player knockup. And yeah, it did not matter. Meli-G didn't even get the turret. Vladimir is not the character that you really want split pushing. If taking turrets is the plan that you're going for, they won that team fight. And then Amato just got to go teleport bottom lane, stop the push that Meli-G was getting off. And it all just kind of got shut down. And I think from there, if I was on Hammerheads, my morale would probably be shot as well. So if that's kind of what happened, I don't blame him, because I would have been like, what the heck just happened? Why were we in these places? How did we just get 3-player knocked up by this Kane and just get taken down time and time again? So yeah. I mean, really, once again, Weehaw, phenomenal job on this Kane. Was exactly what this team composition needed. Got all of those other players to the late game where they could flourish and just deal a ton of damage, and once again shut down the one player who was getting fed at the start of the game, which was that MF. So all of a sudden, that like huge unstoppable MF in the early game, not a problem. You get final sparked, you get Vigar ulted, you get ran at by a Kane. What are you gonna do?
Panic.
Yeah, exactly.
At that point,
click
yeah.
for your life.
Great start from the Hammerheads, but even better closing from the Bandits. Extremely well done, and GG's to the Bandits. We currently have the MVP poll open right now for our winning team, so make sure to get your votes in. Let us know which of the Bandits you think deserves that MVP title. We're going to take a quick break while we get set up for our final game of the evening between the Crusaders and the Vipers. Don't go anywhere. Get those votes in, and we'll see you back on the desk in just a few. It's definitely going to be an annoyance. Usually, I mean, this is what I was gonna say too, is I have not seen a Thresh be picked and ranked in norms in a long time. And it's not so much that Thresh isn't a good champion, it just seems like he hasn't really found his footing in 12-17. Might even have a little bit of extra spiciness here as Dream is looking for that early gank here. As in he comes, Ragdoor's getting jumped on by all 3 members. Ignite is going to be down as well too. Heal is popped, but it's first blood for roaming, playing it nice and safe behind the back of the turret. Weehaw though is going to get taken down. Dream Unforgiven picking up the kill there. I don't know if there was any extra assist to be handed on over. But graphics, wait, oh no, Amato, you're all by yourself. Ragdoor sniffed it out, but Amato stayed forward. Flag and drag knocked on up. Sniper with their 5th kill of the game. This misfortune is absolutely massive now.
I mean, that's kind of similar to what we saw in our first.
Down to this fight as 4 members in the bot half of the map here from Bandits. Gonna send back the pressure, but then again, bullet time will just simply clear that on out. Cage is gonna come down, but stepping into turret range, you do not do that around the Thresh. Graphics is there to clean it up. A shutdown goes to the Gumi as Weehaw now takes a turret shot. Sniper picks up Ragdoor, but it's a double kill for Graphics. Flashing forward, has the play available, but they're just playing with their food at this point. They're gonna corner him in like a pack of lions, or even better, more like a school of sharks, if you're gonna call them that. More appropriate. Dream corners of our screen from Meli-G onto the Kumi there in the mid lane. So that back will not get stopped in time. He's gonna make it back to his base. Dragon is on the board. It is gonna be a Nether Texas drag there as Andy Gwen getting jumped on right now by 3 members. Again, similar situation, he's got nowhere to go. Divine Judgment comes on down. Andy Gwen at least able to pick up one. Weehaws here with the knockup. Dream trying the best to flag and drag. Look at the death sentence, but no follow-up available. Tried for the Cataclysm, but again, just out of range, just not enough to do the rotation. Sniper up into the top lane to continue this farming, continue getting gold into their pocket. As for now, we get to take a short breath. Andy Gwen needs to be careful if Dream has the Cataclysm available. Oh no, I'm using it right now. Double knockout here. That's going to be a showstopper coming through for Sigma, but he's taken out by Andy Gwen. Double play on back into the box. Can Dream finish him off? It's a huge shutdown for him, and a double kill on the Weehaw. Dream cleans it up with the help of graphics.
Oh, but Kumi making a rotation of are seeing a Kale at the top of any graph, especially pre like 30 minutes.
That is I know we used the word concerning, but I think a little bit more having yeah, like I said, Kale way up there. Another fight breaking out though. Final spark lands on the 2. Primordial burst to take out one of them, and Dream will drop as well. The Emerald Trespass used once again by Weehaw. And will that binding land the flash bar from Kumi? And they just send everything on top. Nowhere for Sniper to go. Regor finally gonna get some retribution, picking up their first kill of the President. And Sigma now with the showstopper. Weehaw is taking the back line. Melly in the pool, soaking up some health with the Q. Dream Unforgiven getting the kill on the enemy jungler here. We're down to 3v5, still in favor of the Hammerheads. Amato though with a huge primordial burst takes it out. ADHD graphic Sniper to answer it right on back. Dream is still on the chase. Cataclysm not available. Slowdown down by the fruit. Caught up by the binding. So much poke to slow these members down. Melly G is going to be forced to back on off. Final spark. And we're back. What's up? How's it going? That was a crazy game number 2 between Hammerheads and Bandits. We're going to keep things short because game number 3 is almost ready to go. But we have to announce our MVP from game number 1. Sorry, game number 2. Losing track.
Yeah.
Math is hard. Weehaw! Oh my goodness, Becky. What a performance on the cane.
I mean, yeah, Andy Gwen did a great job. But Andy Gwen also wouldn't have been an insanely fed Kale and as ahead if Weehaw hadn't swooped in and helped out with those first 2 and 4 kills in that game towards that top side of the map. And so we really just have to give it over to Weehaw, who saved that other very fed player in the early game and just did a ton of things correctly in the late game and brought it all home for the side of the Bandits. So congratulations, Weehaw, and a phenomenal job on that cane.
Yeah, just so well done to set up. And yeah, we had our concerns going in. It seemed to be that way. I think, you know what, whatever the way this draft goes for this next game, be like, I'm concerned about this team. I'm going to support this team. I'm going to predict that they win because it's been upset start the night. It's been crazy so far this evening. And we've got one more final banger to end things off. Crusaders, who started off this night 3-0. I don't know what the current updates are on the standings. Actually, we do. Crusaders are 5-0.
Woo!
So this for them, if they find the win here, will mean they are 6-0. They won every single game throughout the first 2 weeks. Vipers, unfortunately, are sitting at 1-4. So a win here definitely would be big for them. However, we've seen some crazy stuff tonight. Who knows how it's going to go. We're about to get into draft for game number 3 of this evening, our final one. So don't forget to get your predictions in once you actually start to see them going. But for those of you who did predict the Bandits, I do believe I have some points to dole on out. And now we are officially ready to move on to this draft. I might hold my prediction this time, Becky, to see see what we get from draft. But it's hard not to be a fan or a supporter of the Crusaders based on their success so far in this early stages of the split.
Not to mention that they're all pretty big names. And yeah, based on the fact that we watched the undefeated team from last week take a pretty quick loss in our first match of the night, this does make Crusaders the highest winning team so far. So you gotta be putting a lot of your chips and a lot of your bets towards the way of the Crusaders, but will Vipers be able to get themselves a little bit of an upset?
That's going to be the question here. You got the full stacked Crusaders back again. Becky Rita is on the bench this time with their team. But definitely looking over at the Vipers to see what they're going to do to kind of interfere with the plans of the Crusaders. I know my eyes are on Dark Python if they decide to run that Mundo once again, how it's going to kind of slot into this team, if it's going to be built around, or if that is just there to be just the meatball to soak up all the damage. Crusaders tend to play things a little bit more aggressive. I'm expecting, some big stuff in the mid lane as well as in the bot side. Wolven been picking up the Sivir and the Kaisa as well too, which is definitely in your face once those champions get rolling after a bunch of farming, as most ADCs do. But it's going to be fun. Potential chance to see Becky Rita on a Hecarim? Question mark. I know they asked me, what jungler do you want to see? And I jokingly said Heimerdinger, so I don't know. There's a chance.
Heimerdinger, Hecarim, that's basically the same thing.
Anything with an H. There you go, Becky. That's what I want to see from
Yeah.
you. It's funny too. 2 Beckys that are casters. It messed me up a little bit. Even funnier when you guys are on the cast together sometimes. This is Becky. This is also Becky.
Yeah.
But Becky,
Nice little fun time.
who are we looking out for? What kind of picks are we going to be looking out for this draft?
I mean, Hecarim would be kind of cool to see, but again, I do kind of think of Hecarim as a little bit of a boogeyman. We're very interested in seeing potentially from Wolven Alchemist something like the Sivir or the Kaisa. Sivir, I think, is a cool character that is finally kind of good again. Has some strengths that Jinx potentially from Nickel could be really insane. Both of the supports though play Janna, so we might be seeing a little bit of a fight for that support, or just seeing which one of these teams is going to go ahead and ban that away, because a lot of engage kind of gets shut down by something like a Janna being picked up.
My prediction is banning Seraphine Blue Side and B1 Misfortune. Will it be 3?
I guess, yeah, that would be kind of wild. I mean, I'd love to see it. Like, why not? But I mean, who knows? We might see it again. I keep thinking that Blue Side should just pick Seraphine because it's just probably one of the most busted champions right now and is good in 3 out of the 5 roles. I mean, what the heck? Try it jungle, try it top. Who knows? You could probably make it work and just like work your way to the late game where everything just ends up being insane when you have a Seraphine.
I do believe, looking at Darwin Theory in the mid lane too, pretty proficient on those enchanters, burst enchanters, to be more specific. Has busted out the Xerath before. I do believe back on their time in the Unicorns a few splits ago was pretty good on that Seraphine. I've run into him in solo queue. Thankfully, it was not ranked, but he kicked my butt. He was in mid lane and he absolutely kicked my butt. So I would expect some big bursty champion for them. And with Seraphine being potential flex, not a bad idea. You look over at OG Sauce Boss, pretty proficient with those enchanters. I do believe that Wolven has bounced between the ADC and support as well too, so pretty aware of what goes on with that Seraphine champion. 3-way flex jungle if you're feeling extra saucy about it. For now, we're just waiting on a couple moments. A couple of the players are just making their way back to their desks as we are just about to prepare for this final game of the night. So just a couple more moments and we'll be getting there. Chat though has been popping off. Got a lot of people viewing in tonight, which is awesome to see. Thank you to all our viewers coming in to our Monday night stream, supporting our VAD players, as well as just being here to support Victoris Esports. Really awesome to see all the growth. It's crazy. Blows my mind every single day, Becky. I look on, I'm like, oh my god. Us little old Victoris. Shucks.
I mean, hey, you're getting there. You promote enough of these players, you give a lot of people some love, and give everyone a platform, and they will come. That's how it works. That's the famous saying, if you build it, we'll get there. And, Victoris has been growing, has been building and going along the way. And VAD is just like a great small community of people who are very interested in improving at the game and getting to those higher levels, as well as getting a little bit of competitive for the people who maybe don't always have a competitive scene built out for them. So it's really great.
Makes my heart so full. It really does. But I do believe, still waiting on the mid laner for Crusaders to be back at desk. Both teams have almost sent up the ready flags here. So, wait, both have sent it. We get draft. Okay, let's do it. Draft for game number 3, our final one of the evening. Very excited to see what it's going to be. A lot of potential picks we can be looking at here tonight. And in we go. Lilia, we saw. It was game number 1, game number 1, game number 2.
Game number 1.
They just fly past me. So many games.
Oh, we don't want any of the characters that we have been seeing in these games. No Lilia, no MF. Jinx is a little bit of a crazy one, but that is a character that Nickel performs very well on, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Get it off the plate.
Yeah, do not allow that one through. So Udyr also going to be sitting on the bench this time. And as well as the Heck Room is gone. So a lot of the predictions we had, nope, not going to have that. So the more exciting thing is, what are the new stuff? What is the new stuff going to be that comes out? I'm sure the Vipers are thinking right now, did we ban Seraphine? Do we have to ban it? Is it going to be picked? I mean, it's really good right now. There's it's really risky leaving it up because there is a very likelihood chance a lot of teams have been shown to play them across the board, no matter what rank, what level, what league you're looking at. Seraphine B1 has come back officially at this point, and I'm sure the Vipers are very aware of that at this stage of the ban. But that would be much more spicy if they're gonna take away Zed. And there it is, Becky, like clockwork.
I mean, we just needed to see the MF ban instead of the Seraphine ban, and then we would see the Seraphine. I mean, okay. Somehow, it wouldn't be VAD if we couldn't see those big ultimate champions coming through.
Yeah. Zed would have been pretty spicy, though. Has Darwin been playing Zed? I don't know if we don't get often get to see him come through, but Sarah, triple flex option is on the board, but Zeri, sometimes, you know what, Becky, I don't know how often you do too. I look at that champion, it's like Neon, Zeri, Neon, Zeri. I don't know.
I play a lot more Valorant right now than League of Legends, so in my mind, Zeri is definitely Neon. And I may say Neon a few times during this game. I do keep having to check myself and say, I almost say agent, and then I'm like, champion or character, champion or character. But I do keep wanting to say agent. And Garen coming through, I've had a lot of friends be like, Garen's really fun right now. And I'm like, of all the characters that you could be calling fun, you're going to say Garen?
Oh.
Instead, we're going for that Nautilus. That's a fun champion.
You know what? I agree with that. He is pretty fun. You get to Spider-Man your way around with the anchors. But I do have a little bit of strife with it being picked this early, because it does kind of reveal the hand of the Crusaders. Unless for some reason we're going back to like Season 6, Season 7, and this is a Nautilus top. Most likely going to be in the hands of OG Sauce Boss, which kind of gives away where that Seraphine is really going to be going. It's either bot or it's either mid. Oh, Nocturne. Are you kidding me? We got to see it, game 1 yesterday for C9 versus 100 Thieves, where Blabber just went kind of bonkers out there. There is a potential chance they have looked into that, and I don't know if Vipers are aware. If a Kennen decides to sneak into this would be really, really scary. That'd be pretty hype. Basically casting LCS finals.
I think that this Sejuani pickup is a nice little bit of a get some tankiness built into here, especially when we just got that Nocturne pick. Normally, Nocturne is the type of champion that I would be like very dubious of, especially in some of these games, in VAD especially, where I'm like, it takes kind of a lot to be able to really pop off. But basically every character that I've been worried about popping off, the Lilia and the Kayn last game, have popped off tremendously. So
Both
you know what?
too.
Go off, Becky Rita.
Yeah, so excited to see Becky piloting this Nocturne right now. It's definitely going to be huge. I want to see the pair up of what other combos, what other champions are going to be adding for these final 2 picks, because that's really what makes it. Is what can you do once the lights get shut off? And I'm hoping the answer is a lot. Kind of breezed past the Yuumi pick there, and Cat.
It's Yuumi.
Cat. The Victor, though, being locked in once again for CB the Barbarian. Definitely a champion that they're comfortable with. Definitely something they busted out, but not a lot of success quite yet. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It's only week 1 that we have the results from, so hopefully week 2 they pulled together. They got some practice down on it. We can see that mage hopefully holding it down, but wow.
Whoa, there's the cannon.
Did I say it?
Yeah, you did.
Did I call it?
I mean, we keep seeing a lot of these things. We keep seeing people really trying to be LCS and go off. I'm excited to see it all come together, and What are Vipers going to do to try and counter this?
Call an electrician. Say, hey, my lights are out. Oh wait, there's an oversurge going on here behind me.
Wait a minute, there's a small electrical rat.
There's
What am I to do?
Yeah, I see a lot of them behind you there, actually.
Yeah, I do have a lot of them behind me.
Oh my, that is definitely... Okay, here's the thing, though. I'm immediately thinking, it almost coming out, this is definitely concerning for the side of Vipers, so obviously I got to support the Vipers now. But the Maokai locked on in now. I do believe that is heading up towards the top side of the map, most likely the case. He has been given, I believe, a little bit of a buff on 12-17, if I am remembering correctly from some of these patch notes. But yes, tanky for sure. The ultimate is going to be nice in terms of team fights for saying, okay, let's slow this way the heck down. But it needs to be on point. It needs to cover everywhere and every which angle that the Crusaders are going to come at you from, which is going to be multiple. Nautilus Seraphine are their own unit, and then you've got 3 just absolute monsters that can run around you and do their thing in team fights. That gets really, really scary. So how are the Vipers going to manage the absolute chaotic energy that is coming out of the Crusaders here?
I think they're going to really have to rely on the ultimate coming out of the Sejuani to probably not do any engaging, probably do a lot of counter, just like holding things down. The Maokai I actually think is a great pick. If you have a lot of people running at you, being able to throw down that Maokai ultimate really stops a lot of things that are coming at you. And even just something like that slow field that can come down from that Victor, going to be tremendously helpful. Yumi ult as well can do a pretty good job of at least saying, yo, back off the person that is holding the little kitty cat. And then really it's just hoping that you're utilizing all of those to stave off like a 1-for-1 ratio to each of the like 12 things that Crusaders have to get on top of all of these players. The biggest thing I have as a concern, to the surprise of no one, is the Seraphine ultimate. And the reason that I've been so scared about Seraphine being the first pick on blue side every single time is just that you have a Seraphine ultimate that lands on more than one player from the Vipers, and maybe it just doesn't matter what you do.
Because that's basically the lights out. Let's go. It's time. Flip the switch. Everybody go. As soon as that Seraphine ult's hit, right? There's so much follow-up that can come from it. But I'm going to give Vipers this. Looking a little bit more into the team, the kite potential is very, very high. It's very, very good. They just have to get that process started. If they get caught out too quick, it is donezo. It is legitimately lights out. But if Vipers are able to pull things back again, lost chapter, as long as it is, you just have to have the slight bit amount of patience until Crusaders really show their hand and say, okay, this is the way we're going to be entering this fight. Then you can follow up. If that lost chapter goes off too early, if the grasping roots, I think the Maokai ult goes off too soon, right? It's very easy to say, okay, we're just going to simply walk around these and hit you guys from another side, another angle, right? But if you think about it, right, if it is a straight line that they're getting chased in, there is so much slow. Zeri is incredibly good at kiting out these fights, does an incredible amount of damage. Same goes for the Victor as well. He's able to walk back. He's able to slow you down and poke you out. So for the Vipers, I think they do have some options here. And we're back on this side, on the blue side, where it is up to the Crusaders here to be the ones initiating, to be the ones who are making the plays. We talked about that in game 2 for the Hammerheads. It started off really good, and then after that, didn't quite go in their favor. So it's two different teams, different scenario, different draft. But that's what just comes to my mind when I first think of that. However, the fact that we get to see the C9 draft from yesterday is pretty sick, Becky.
It is pretty cool, and we'll see if they can bring it all together, if this is maybe them just being a little bit too aggressive. Excited to see how it's going to end up shaking up. And this is kind of just like the last draft. Like, we've said all that we can say. Like, now it just comes down to how things shake up actually on the Rift.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see it go down for real. We're going to take ourselves a quick little break while we get loaded onto the Rift for our final game of the evening. But predictions are currently open up in chat. Get those V coins, because we can't call them V-Bucks, out. And use those channel points to let us know who you think is going to win this third game. Again, math is so damn hard. who's going to win this final game of the match? Let us know in Twitch chat. Let us know with those channel points. We'll be right back for our final game of the night.
Spark's ready.
Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome back to week 2 of VAD. We're in our final game of the evening. I know I had a couple Space Cadet moments there earlier, but we got a couple Space Cadets in chat, or not in chat, sorry. the
In game.
still, like I said. Astronautless, Astro Maokai. I love to see it. Some of my favorite skin lines, Becky. But Crusaders on the blue side, sorry, are going to be doing a little bit of invading Dark Python, immediately flashing
So fast.
out of there. Oh my goodness, that was way too close of a call, but playing it safe. It'll be back in 5 minutes, Becky.
I mean, yeah, we saw somebody try to play it safe last game, and it didn't go so well for them. But this time
Oh, no, it
around,
didn't.
not quite as scary. So hopefully, it's still gonna be fine for that little Maokai up in the
Mm.
top lane, who, especially being in a ranged first melee matchup, is likely just gonna be trying to play it safe and just farm under turret anyway. Especially, we see that tier, so is trying to just like build up being tanky and get to that end point as Becky Rita takes out this ward. No vision for the side of the Vipers.
Gonna be nice and smart start with that sweeper, knowing that, hey, you know what, we were up top, potential invade into our red side for ward. So yeah, easily swept on out, and that's already a little bit of extra gold into the pocket of Becky Rita there. But we mentioned the Crusaders, Lynn Bloom, Becky Rita, Darwin Theory, Woven Alchemist, and OG South Boss over there on the blue side. On the red side, we've got our Vipers, Dark Python, OTE Gale, CP the Barbarian, Nickel, and Sunny. Gonna be a spicy game. Yeah, I know.
I just liked how you said that. That was good.
It's got 4 Ys there. You gotta say them all, you know?
Yeah.
I'm definitely curious to see how this one's gonna go. You got high octane engage already. Darwin Theory starting off by taking over half the CP the Barbarian's health bar. Not a great start there, but it is the kite comp I think the Vipers put together for themselves. We'll see if they can pull it off. But right now, OG Sauce Boss starting it off with the dredge line there. Nickel is forced to flash away really early on here. This is a lot of early summoners being blown by the Vipers, Becky.
A lot, but we do still have that ghost, so still a lot of mobility available. And once that little kitty cat is able to get a few more levels, we will be able to heal up Nickel and be able to stay in a nice point. Especially when you're that little cat against something like the Nautilus, you're able to farm up a lot of mana with those auto attacks.
Oh, another beautiful anchor on a Nickel there. We're going to see slow down for the hero. And Yumi, one final auto! It's first blood for Woven Alchemist. Crusaders first on the board here at that 3-minute mark. Lovely little start. And again, the setups from Sauce Boss have just been so clean in this early laning phase.
I don't know what it is about the name OG Sauce Boss, but picking up a character like Nautilus just feels right for that. And
really
is
does.
getting off of some nice anchors, as you mentioned, doing a great job of locking down. And that is one of those places where you're maybe a little sad that you have a Yumi. Like, maybe Yumi should be getting out and taking some of those when you have that much HP.
But unfortunately for Yumi, she just does not have enough health there.
Oh.
Darwin Theory, parkour, can he make it out of there? OTE Gale
Run!
is on the chase, and Seeber the Barbarian just barely survives with a sliver of health there. Same with Darwin, I believe he took a turret shot there, which was a little risky, but he makes it out. And again, it's just like all the way back to game 1 you mentioned, the mind games, the mental games are being played right now to say, hey, this is what you have to look forward to for the rest of the laning phase. We're gonna have a good time. Hey.
And Lindblom also kind of thinking, I'll just have a good time in this ranged matchup. My jungler coming up, gonna get this done off.
Yeah, they got him.
Do it. All right. A lot of summoners blown for the attacking side there as well, knowing that the Dark Python doesn't have any, making sure you secure it. Great use of those. And now bottom, maybe being a little bit too aggressive for the amount of abilities that we just missed. But, you know, we got that first blood, so no harm, no foul, I suppose.
This wave, though, for Darwin Theory. Just going to go ahead, soak this one on up. I did want to make a quick point on what you mentioned in the bot lane, right? They have to land their CC. Crusaders have to land their CC, because if not, this area is just going to duck and dash around you no matter what you try and do. And again, Seraphine, as much damage as she does, as great of a champion she is, one of the squishiest that are out there, so you do not want to be hit up by that extended trade from this area. However, Lindblom is in some trouble, caught out up in the top lane, trying to zoom around, but the Aftershock slows him down. Dark Python walks on up and sends him an auto, sends him right back to his base as well. Another kill, actually first one for the Vipers to get themselves on the board.
Yeah, and on the board is pretty good, all things considered. You know you're going up against this team that is currently undefeated. So whatever it takes to keep that mental and all of your squad in good spirits is worth it.
Yeah, definitely for the Vipers. It's tough to say, right? Still early on, still very early in this split. But, you know, being down 0-2 already this evening, this is definitely going to be a little bit of a tougher challenge for them to face, knowing how big this Crusaders team has been performing so far. So really, up to them to show us, to prove us wrong, to give us another upset tonight, because so far, every single one has been absolutely crazy, right? Razorbacks got taken down early on. We'll hold that thought for now, because Victoris trying to go for that invade does, I believe, get the smite down onto the Wolves. However, the collapse is coming in, and Becky is going to get jumped on here by 4 members of the Vipers, getting punished. No rotation with them. He gets taken out, and a kill picked up for CB the Barbarian. Immediately, the answer is going to be to start up this Dragon, but Darwin Fury is here. We got the numbers showing up from Crusader, still advantageous for the Viper side, but OG Saucepaw is going to walk on up, take out CB the Barbarian. Now 3v3. Exhaust will come down onto Darwin Fury. Gale's walking back and forth, doing the dance right now, dashing forward. Wolven to pick up that kill. Darwin is next to go down. Sunny going to be picking up the kill there, but now the lockdown with the Nautilus passive. Wolven is getting low, needs to land the damage, but cannot find it. Nickel will take out a kill onto him, and it's just back and forth trading all the way through. Saucepaw tries to Spider-Man the way out, but will they be able to make it? Nickel will be able to dash over the wall in just a few seconds. Saucepaw so low, in comes Victoris back from the grave to get their revenge. That's one. Sunny should be next to go. Don't believe they're going to have a teammate show up in time. Wait a minute. Hold that thought. In comes CB the Barbarian. And see you later. Becky caught in a 1v3 situation once again. Oh no. Going to get slowed down. Caught out by the Sejuani. Will they have enough to get the passive off? Maybe, potentially. But no. Just out of range. And a bit of chaos. A bit of bloodbath in the river there.
I mean, that was a lot of bit of chaos. That was a lot going on, and it was all over the place. Holy smokes, the fact that Becky Rita got to come back to the fight. Oh my gosh, just so much happening, but the kills picked up for both squads, and honestly still looking to be in a pretty good place, and this Hextech Dragon's just getting to chill. Keep taking a nap. You can keep fighting, don't fight me.
Oh, that was so close to just slightly wide on that Seraphine, I believe. It's been like maybe a day since I played Seraphine, but still. I'm full space cadet alongside the Maokai and the Nautilus. This is not just based on skins. Here's Darwin. Oof! Gets taken out. Gale. We'll find that, and honestly, early levels, early game on Sejuani already has the Bounty Cinder completed. Health being quite an OP, hold on, words, quite an OP stat to have in these early levels of the game. So there we go, hold on, I finally got there. Paranoia was popped there as well. Don't know if they're actually going to go for it, but we see immediately Nickel and Sunny are backing off of that one.
We saw literally everyone back off of wherever they were. CB the Barbarian stepped back towards turret. Gale was even like, I don't, this red buff's going to really just gain a bunch of HP back and start to fight me. I don't know. Too scared. Backed off of the red buff. So everyone respecting that darkness that's coming over the screen there.
Yeah, rightfully so. It's about time. Unfortunately, though, no Slicing Maelstrom to follow up on that. I do believe we saw that on our picture-in-picture. Then Bloom popped that up top to try and find a kill on Dark Python, but he was able to get out of that. Again, another Bambi Cinders built on the Maokai, but more importantly, it's another flash from Nickel to escape out of that CC from the bot half of the map. Level 6 is starting to come in as well, too, which means this game gets even more scary. Only Saucepaw left to go here. As Will get the passive down, Will lock down that UV briefly as in goes Darwin. There we go. Oh my god, where did Barbarian go? Absolutely eviscerated this lost chapter. Burned on the bot side of the map, not able to find the CC to lock down there. Wolf and Alchemist walking a little bit forward, but not too favorable for them as Vipers have Gale with them, and they're able to find a kill on the Sauce Boss.
Doing a nice job of just trying to go at least 1-for-1 here. Once again, Vipers doing a good job of finding those kills, and they could be a lot further behind than they are, but they're doing such a wonderful job of at least being able to equalize just a little bit here. And once the tanks really start to turn on alongside the Uni that they have on their squad for Vipers, this could end up being a very difficult game for Crusaders to actually end with.
Darwin not wasting any time there on that kill. And the spot side too. I was a little concerned when they walked up forward like that. Should have just kept on running for the hills as soon as they saw Gale, but just a little bit too late. Rift Herald was secured, I believe, by Becky Rita there. Barbarian trying to run a little interference. And we saw Lindblom again busting out the Slicing Maelstrom. Might actually look for this. Paranoia is available. Are they going to launch? Are they going to go here? Or just try and finish off this top tower? Darwin Theory again. Oh my goodness. Does so much damage. Another solo kill in the mid lane.
Wow. And I mean, that's going to be really difficult for this Victor to be able to come back and really just be able to stay around. Now that this Prowler's Claw is completed for Darwin Theory, we're really seeing just how much of a punch this Talon is packing. And this could end up being really spooky if that Talon gets so fed that Zeri just gets taken down before this little cat can do any amount of healing.
Yeah, it's scariest when you know you have an assassin mid laner who's got themselves some kills. Well, hold on to that thought, because right now Becky Rita going ahead and killing Dark Python, takes the turret shot, but gets that little bit of extra survivability though. CB the Barbarian is down here, Flash coming in. Wolven was able to pick up a kill on the bot lane on a nickel, but Becky Rita still on the chase right now, or on the run, I suppose. The CB the Barbarian will continue looking for whatever they possibly can. Laser just coming up short. My goodness, that was really close. No punishment going to be coming through, though. Bot lane, though, we saw in our feed, popped up. Nickel was taken out by Wolven. That is 3-1-1 on the Seraphine now, looking quite huge. A little bit of gold to spend next time they go back. However, now might be the time. Again, we're in a situation where Gale is right here. They know he's right around the corner. Darwin Theory doing exactly the point that I was cut off when Becky was up top, which is big assassin mid laner running around doing whatever they want. This is getting scary.
Yeah, definitely getting scary. That shutdown going to be doing pretty good things for pockets of nickel on this Zeri, and Zeri can be pretty spooky on her own, but we do still have to contest with that Talon as well as that Nocturne. So we've seen how potent a lot of those assassin anti-AD carry characters can be so far tonight, and I don't think that this is going to be very different in this situation unless we get to see this little kitty cat in Sunny really just be able to save Nickel a bunch of times.
That's really going to be the key, is the kite potential, is the speed ups with your Yuumi heal. You get a little burst of movement speed just briefly, and honestly can make such a difference in terms of what you're looking for the fights. Paranoia has been popped once again. Looking at my minimap to try and find out where the heck is Becky Rita right now. He's in the mid lane, as almost picking off CB the Barbarian. You can see how far back they're walking to try and gain safety, but in the top lane, flashing over the Maokai route, trying to find a kill on a Dark Python, but OTE. Gale is looking for some more, dashing forward, knocked on back, well juggled by the side of the Vipers to avoid that one. I do believe, yes, Gale picking up that kill, well earned for them. Don't know if we're quite done yet, though, Becky.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I was like, oh, are we going to continue to push on to Gale? And that was not the case.
I mean, Shadow Assault is available for Darwin Theory. He's 3-2-2. He's got the completed Prowler's Claw, which is just going to make things that much more scary out there. Plus a Dirk. Yeah, Darwin Theory, oh no. He's found the angles. He's found the pincher maneuver. And Becky Rita comes in to say, hey, thank you for all for all the damage you just did. I'll take that one. Thank you very much. 3-1-1 now on the Nocturne, but an assist for Darwin Theory. Nickel, though, in the jungle. OTE Gale coming on over the wall, though. That's going to be the depth charge. Thankfully, though, Nickel has the mobility to get themselves over the wall. Again, we mentioned wall hacks for King. Zeri also definitely has some good wall hacks. And Lindblom in the top half of the map, able to take that tier 1 turret. It is action across the board here, Becky, non-stop with Dragon up in 20 seconds. Who knows what's happening next?
That's what I'm wondering, but Lindblom is saying it's that I want to fight, and it might be made a little bit more difficult by Gale being present.
Here they go, 1v2 though. Slicing Maelstrom is available, but will they use it? Absolutely. That's going to be the roots down, and Gale with another kill up in that top side, being so helpful to Dark Python, securing as much as they can in that top side. However, tower is still down. That is still extra pressure that is going to be applied to the top half of the map for the side of the Crusaders. And seeing Gale all the way up there, said, hey, you know what? Why don't we go ahead and scoop up the Dragon of our own?
Yeah, might as well. Let's even score just a little bit here, and between this jungler and that bot lane support, we're able to get a whole lot done while Wolven Alchemist gets to continue to get some solo EXP and slowly work towards going for that next item, be it the Morellonomicon or potentially finishing off that tier into that Seraph's Embrace.
Seraphine looking quite good out there. Nocturne is also looking quite good. I'm waiting for the Paranoia Slicing Maelstrom play, but hey, you know what? 4 minutes on the next dragon. Maybe that's when we can hope for it. The Herald is going to be up soon too, but we can honestly keep an eye out for the gold influx that is coming through for the side of the Crusaders. Becky's got a bit of a buy to go do relatively soon, probably finishing off these Raptors. Yeah, look at that. Reading the mind here. Darwin Theory.
Oh,
you're not getting out of that one. Sorry, Barbarian. He just does way too much damage. Darwin just raking in the gold. You can see how much he's earned. 7.3 so far this game.
Oh, I mean, and it's showing off in damage. That ultimate from the Sejuani hits, but will Darwin Theory be able to get out?
I don't think so. Wait a minute. Parkour sites. Oh no, that's gonna be the chilling spike that comes on down, slows him down enough for, I believe, Nickel to get that extra shutdown gold. So 450 gold over the pockets of Zeri is gonna be very, very, very useful. But now he's got himself a Ghost Blade, Wolfen Alchemist with the Encore, Paranoia coming on in onto the Zeri. Nickel trying to get away with that with the flash, but Baker Reed is just chasing him all the way down. The kite potential is huge. The exhaust comes down. That's gonna be the Nautilus ult as well, but Nickel continues, the kite continues to pump out the damage. Look at the Zeri go. A double kill for Nikki. And I think one more was picked up by his teammate there. 3 members of Crusaders get blown away.
That is how we need to see Nickel playing constantly, and that damage output, phenomenal. Picks up that Phantom Dancer as well, so it's going to be able to skirt around these fights even better, and I believe that was like a straight full item buy upon that return to base.
Yeah, no way you can't have picked up a lot of gold off that, but maybe a little bit overzealous, you know, going off that Encore. It briefly hit Nickel, and then at this point, you don't catch him immediately, you do not chase, and I think the Crusaders hopefully learn their lesson that time, because this is what goes down if you decide to chase Nickel.
And be aware. Make sure that you are not anywhere near that. I mean, we're going to have to avoid this Zeri. We're going to have to avoid this Talon. Like, Darwin Theory is just preying on CB the Barbarian and saying, you know what? How long will it take you to tilt? What's it going to take? How many more deaths? Do you have to get to 10? Whatever it's going to be, I'm going to try and do it.
To quote the most recent Fire Lord in our books, that's rough, buddy. That is rough. But honestly, for Darwin now, I think the attention should be shifting towards that Zeri. Nickel has definitely become a threat now. The Bloodthirster, or sorry, Shield Bow has been completed. Phantom Dancer has been completed, as well as those boots. So headability is there. Darwin Theory doing more Darwin Theory things, but Nickel is on the chase right now. Parkour, can they make it? Oh my god, they're actually gonna go for it! Over the old turret stump. Dark quite fun trying to get over there, flashing the mastery. This guy's a madman. Darwin Theory. Hardcore parkour across the board. Will not be able to contribute if the Viper decides to go for anything here in this mid lane, but oh my god, that is illegal, Becky. He cannot get away with that.
You say he can't, but he did.
But he did.
But he did. He's back in base. He's healing up. He didn't die. CB the Barbarian is 1-8. So, as far as I can tell, he certainly got away with it.
Unreal. This is your clippable moments, Darwin. Here, put this in the portfolio. Unreal. 1 parkour, 2 parkour, 3 parkour. Count it with me. It's a 4 parkour. 5. Definitely got 5, and I think a 6 at some point. 5 parkour. Unreal. Darwin Theory. What he was able to do. Okay, fine. Either way,
A whole lot of them.
That's a lot to deal with. That is a lot to recover from. Just on a mental standpoint, to be like, I cannot believe this guy escaped their clutches again. 8.7k he's made so far this game. Believe he just treated himself to a little something nice there in the shop as well. So yeah, we're gonna see the double long swords and pickaxe coming out. Some more lethality, more damage coming in. and another dragon about to spawn on the board. So we might just see yet another fight here. Now's the time for cannon plates.
We'll see. This could be the team fight that brings it all together here. Especially how many people are sitting here prepared. The cannon is in place as well. Throwing out some of that Seraphine utility. Where does it need to start?
Paranoia goes in, Darwin Fury with the Shadow Assault. Oh no! Limblum gets caught out by the roots, but has not popped the Slicing Maelstrom yet. Holding on to it. Wait a minute. No, it was used briefly, but interrupted. Does not matter. Crusaders have got the CC. They've got the damage. Nickel not quite able to get across the wall. That's going to be the clean ace. We were in Valorant terms, flawless round there. As they clean it up. Dragon is theirs. Mid-tier 2, possibly even inhibitor turrets are going to be scooped up here. Crusaders finding an amazing team fight.
An amazing team fight where they don't even really take a whole lot of damage. It is just a Viper, a bloodbath, mixing up that vision loss from that Talon ultimate and that Nocturne ultimate just working out so nicely, and they just go. I mean, it's called Slicing Maelstrom, and the whole team of the Crusaders sliced through the champions of Vipers one by one by one. A beautiful front to back from all players, which is kind of what you need to do when you basically have 2 melee ranged assassins. Pair it along with that little electric brat, and you get a whole lot of damage across.
That's just really nice, and almost close for Nickel to be able to survive again. The kite ability is there, but that's what I was saying, where they have to, as soon as Crusaders pull the trigger, they need to end things extremely quick. And they did just that in that last fight. Darwin Theory, though, taking a little bit of poke. We get to see the XP coming through. Darwin Theory are just 2 away from hitting that level 16, as if he wasn't scary enough out there. Leading in terms of the levels. It's, it's going to be a little bit of a long run if Vipers want to find their way back in this game. 8K, 7.5K gold lead so far for the Crusaders. 2 dragons picked up so far, but the big one is, Becky, is the 5 turrets that Crusaders have gotten. That is extra team gold that you're applying. That is extra pressure. That is extra movement and just mobility you are able to have around the map. That applies to vision control. That applies to these next big objectives we are going to see. Because Baron's on the board as well, too. And I'm seeing a lot of posturing towards this upper half of the map.
I mean, that's got to be the next thing. Dragon's not up for a while. You just won a huge team fight. Where can you force more fights to get more objectives? And Baron is certainly going to be the call. The jig is up a little bit. Will we be able to make anybody pay for it? Not immediately here, as Vipers.
Ults all over the place. Lightning Crash was used as well too, but a 5-man encore from Wolf and Alchemist. In they go with the Slicing Maelstrom, Limblum with the Zonias, and now the Paranoia to follow up. Becky Rita flings in from out of nowhere to clean this fight up. He is getting gutted down extremely hard by Nickel, who gets the shutdown. Sauce Boss might be next. Splash for Dragon Yana, but Wolfen will get dropped. Limblum finds a kill onto Nickel, but down to sliver of health. Will get cleaned out by Gale. It's the ace for the Vipers.
Wow. I mean, okay, Nickel, phenomenal job at the end there. Just being able to do that kiting and just... Becky Rita just had a moment of looking a little bit foolish. Love you, Becky Rita, but it always feels really bad when you're a melee character and you're just getting scooted back by an 80 carry that's whittling down your HP. And a lot of health regained from Gale as well, being able to get out alive and try to help out to pick up those final few kills. Phenomenal job all around, and that little pesky kitty cat really making a big impact here as we get later into this game.
I honestly, big part of Nickel surviving, on top of how well they were positioned, how well they used their summoners. Sunny was there saying, hey, don't worry, I got you. You can go ham as much as you want. I will give you the heals. I will give you the speed. And really has worked out so well for them. So now we're starting to see a bit of a Grievous Wound starting to be built on the side of the Crusaders. I believe the Executioners for Darwin Theory alongside the Oblivion Orb for Wolven Alchemist is what we need to be seeing here. I wouldn't be surprised if... Oh, no.
Oh,
Darwin's about to get caught out. foot parkour. Chaos Storm is there. Paranoia is popped. Look at CB the Barbarian super low, but they go for Nickel. Definitely the smart choice here in terms of what you want to go. Sauce Boss to follow on up. Wolven in the back, tossing out the CC, tossing out the damage. We're going to see Nautilus ults going on too, and multifaceted team. They're going at you from multiple angles here as Sauce Boss will to clean this one up. Exhaust comes down. No need to chase any further than this, but they do have the anchor, locks them down, and secured for all their hard work. 4 members from the Vipers will be wiped out. They trade them for Darwin, but that Baron is gonna be calling to Crusaders right now.
Calling, and they are moving towards the call. They should be able to go through it pretty quickly between the Bork that is on Becky Rita, as well as the Leandri's Torment that is on this Seraphine. Once again, we kind of said it as we were coming into this game. If we ever see that Seraphine ultimate be able to charm multiple players, it's just going to be so hard for Vipers to be able to continue to fight here. And unfortunately for CB the Barbarian, this Victor just is not dealing nearly enough damage to keep up with every other player in this game, and unfortunately that's just coming from how much Darwin Theory was able to hold down and aggress onto this as the Baron comes through for Crusaders.
Baron secured. Now Vipers look to re-engage. Encore will only land on the one that's down. Looking out to the backside. In goes the rest of Darwin. Mostly just Darwin there. He's getting to the back line. He will find multiple members here. It's a triple kill for Darwin. And only gonna be Dark Python remaining here trying to find anything. But to no avail. Darwin, I believe, with the quadra kill there.
Wow.
So close to getting that big fat penta. But at this point, that timers are in those double digits. You got the march of the Crusaders right now on multiple lanes. At this point, I would say at least a couple inhibitors are going down. If they want to get a little saucy with it, they could look to potentially enter your Becky.
Yeah, that was kind of unfortunate. We actually saw Dark Python be able to very quickly get onto Wolven Alchemist there, but then Dark Python kind of was like, oh, the rest of my team isn't able to come in and do the damage to finish off Wolven Alchemist, and we kind of saw a turn away, and I kind of wish we were just seeing Dark Python just be like, okay, I'm on to the big damage dealer for the team, and I'm just going to be annoying. I'm just going to be in their face. I'm going to make them have to deal damage to me instead of being able to basically just try to move past the Maokai and do damage elsewhere, because I think that really ended up hurting that team fight for the Vipers.
Yeah. It was a little bit rough to receive that one. We are going to get to watch it back here after what happened, unfortunately, there in the bottom half of the map. But then immediately, it was just another fight Vipers initiated and just didn't go their way back.
Yeah, and I think a lot of their ideas are correct. I think that they're just having their tanks kind of go in the wrong places, and I think that that unfortunately is something that they're having trouble adapting to because of how fed every single one of those big damage dealers for Crusaders is.
Darwin was playing a little bit of a hide and seek there in the bush for a sec. Nickel was scarily close to that Talon, but that is another Mountain Dragon secured here for the Crusaders. They are one away from getting that soul point, but the way they're playing right now, the pressure that they have on the base, the 8 towers that they have secured so far, as well as their 10k gold lead, Becky. At this point, Crusaders looking to close things out here, looking to secure their 6-0 lead. And my god, Darwin Theory may be sniffing out for a penta because that quadra felt really good, but I'm sure he's thinking, hey, you know what, I can do it. I need that 5th member. I can for sure.
Yeah, it just smells blood in the water at this point, and as long as those kills start off with going on to Nickel, you should be safe. We were able to see a lot of that damage in gold that has come through. Poor CB, the Barbarian. We've all been there as a mid lane mage or 80 carry, and you're just like, oh, this assassin is running at me again. I have no other options. I just have to try and get away as quickly as possible and try to stay safe until my team is able to come through and help.
And unfortunately, not been the best of times, unfortunately, for Barbarian. So, gonna be some questions we might have in terms of where they move forward in the coming weeks. But right now, we just saw Dark Python using the alt OT Gale. Alt is now gonna be used. Darwin Theory just briefly stunned up as Nickel is going to be the prize gem right there at the back. Let's see if they can find him. Look at Southpaws with a beautiful anchor. Nickel going in with the slicing. Sorry, with the slicing Maelstrom from Lindblom as a double kill comes through for him. Becky Rita picks up a kill on a Dark Python, and Darwin Theory makes friends with the Fountain Laser. 4v2 right now. Becky Rita still looking for CV the Barbarian. It's up to Crusaders here to close things out. Again, another friend to the Fountain as two members now of Crusaders go slightly too ham, and they can no longer finish off the game, Becky.
No longer, and CV the Barbarian pretty healthy. Lindblom TPing back in, and maybe I guess you kind of have to fight CV the Barbarian, or we're just gonna laser all of those minions down, and the minions are doing the job that we need them to do right now anyway. So all across, just looking so nice for these teams.
I'm so falling hard over here because two guys who went into the fountain. I'm like, come on, you gotta finish this. No. We gotta pad our stats. Okay, sure, guys, no problem. Hilarious as it might be. I mean, definitely good to call back a week two. Hey, remember when this happened? But this initiation from Sauce Boss was just so beautiful, Becky.
Yeah, has been doing a great job the whole game from the first blood that happened in this match through a lot of these team fights. Has just been very on point with the needed CC that this Nautilus provides, and you'll love to see it. And there's a reason that we're seeing a lot more Nautiluses than we are Threshes, and it's just that you have a lot more direction with a lot of the CC that you can provide in a game with something like that Nautilus compared to the Thresh.
Yeah, and I would say arguably slightly more tanky, especially in early mid game. It just suits better. It suits better, especially the flash autos have been just so crucial for saying, hey, you know what? If you're gonna stand anywhere near me, anywhere close to me, I will CC you, and my team will follow up on it, which has been really awesome seeing the Crusaders in action now to see what kind of synergy these guys have got, what kind of energy these guys bring to the table, which has been just nothing but chaotic good, I would say. As most of the night tends to be that way.
Speaking
Sunny, though,
of
so
chaos,
dead. Oh my god!
That cat does not move very quickly, and that makes it all the easier for this assassin to end that poor little cat's life.
Gosh. Darwin Theory playing Animal Controller here, just absolutely savage with who he picks. Again, that's if you get caught out, he will go for you. Becky Rita shutting up the light. That is going to be the encore landing onto three members of the Vipers. In they go again. Lindblom with a massive slicing Maelstrom all the way to the backside of this team. Down go the Vipers, locked up in the Victor box, but it is not going to be enough. Becky Rita making friends with the Fountain once again. It's another double kill for Darwin Theory, but that is GG. Crusaders continue their winning streak, and they are 6-0.
6-0, week 2 can't get much better than that.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Won't stop till we get enough.
I don't know. Did Darwin Theory get enough kills there, Becky? Holy crap. Absolutely insane performance from the Crusaders.
Indeed, as if their scoreline of being 6-0 didn't say enough. Once again, that does mean that they are going to be the only undefeated team across both of the divisions in week 2. So, big things to be said for this Crusader squad, and going to be a team that we're going to have to be watching very closely as we continue to go through this split.
That was just incredible. Absolutely all the way through. I mean, it started out with bot lane where Wolfen and OG Sauce Boss were lighting it up. Absolutely on point. Sauce Boss with great initiations, and Wolfen there to follow up and do so much damage. But I honestly, as I say this too, MVP poll is about to go up into chat as well, so make sure to get your vote in for who you think deserves MVP from the side of the Crusaders. Arwen was a beast that game, Becky.
Yeah, I mean, even we got to see that aggression and what was going to happen as soon as level 2. The moment the Darwin Theory hit level 2, and all of a sudden, we just saw CB the Barbarian was still level 1 and was like, oh, half my HP is gone. I guess I have to go back to my turret. And that kind of spelled out the tempo for the entire game. kind of crazy how that was able to shake up, and crazy that Darwin Theory was able to keep up that same tempo for that entire game. Just continue to put on the pressure, continue to find kills, find those assassinations, rack up that gold, and then eventually get a quadra kill in the game. Just did so much damage, so much potency. Phenomenal job. I mean, most damage was actually going on to Lindblom, but like Darwin Theory wasn't far behind and had twice the amount of kills. So where do you really want to put the emphasis? It depends. It depends, surely.
It's tough because everyone played honestly amazing. I would have loved to see more of the combinations of Paranoia, SIC, Maelstrom, but I still think individually they contributed so much to the team. Like Lindblom played top really, really well, able to get the tower as well. Yes, he got jumped on a couple times, but even though he got taken down, even though we had Gale up in the top lane successfully ganking, it just didn't seem to make that much of an impact. And the question is, like, where could have Vipers found an in during that early mid game?
I think they really needed to capitalize on how aggressive Darwin Theory was actually being. I think if there was ever a time where Gale or even Nickel were kind of, and I understand that Nickel is a Zeri, is very much focused on finding farm in the bot lane, but could rotate with that Yumi on top and be able to just be right place, right time. Maybe that Maokai comes down as well. Just CB the Barbarian needed somebody else to start being there every single time that Darwin Theory was going for those assassinations. If there is somebody nearby when that tower is hitting Darwin Theory and Darwin Theory is trying to do those parkour hops away, there is a cooldown on those rocks that you can hop over, and we just weren't seeing anyone even come close to helping CB the Barbarian have a foot to stand on.
Yeah, because honestly, the lockdown potential with Sejuani there and a Victor Cage, yes, he's got parkour, but if you can get him locked down when he's in the mid lane, when he's literally diving underneath of the tower, that's where I think there needs to be some attention, especially with these big mid laners in the VAD. You got to know coming into this game, Darwin is going to be a beast. And I honestly, sitting here talking about this, I feel like I'm having deja vu. I feel like we had this exact same conversation back in Summer Split where, like, come out of the game like Darwin's insane. Like, that was just absolutely insane. Yeah, just played out of his mind. Expected from this player who's been in this league for multiple splits now, and has shown us, yeah, they're scary. They're scary out there. Few minutes left still on the MVP poll left to go. Who do you think, Becky, should really deserve it? I think it's pretty easy for me to say.
Yeah, I think you and I also agree that it does end up being Darwin Theory. Everyone for the side of the Crusaders did a phenomenal job. This is a difficult one to pick because everyone did so well, but I think that if Darwin Theory wasn't shutting down CB the Barbarian time and time again and making it impossible for that Victor to do anything, that Victor was 2-13. CB the Barbarian was 2-13. Second most damage for Vipers. Had that Victor been able to actually go off, be in team fights and make things happen, be the mage that Victor is supposed to be, that could have been a completely different game. But Darwin Theory straight just said, nope, you're not allowed to do that. Yep. Anytime you show your face, I am jumping onto you. Got this Prowler's Claw, got my ultimate, got a flash every once in a while. Like, you're not going anywhere and you are not having an impact on this game. And if Darwin Theory hadn't said that, I think we would have seen something completely different, considering that CB Barbarian is somebody who plays this Victor a lot. Has prowess on that character, did a ton of damage in that game despite having 13 deaths. So,
and not to say, doesn't have the practice on it, but it just seems that the Victor hasn't been clicking so well for the Vipers and for CB the Barbarian. So, hopefully between this week and next, there is some discussion, there is some practice, maybe on some other stuff. Get that pool opened up a little bit more to see what else can work for the squad, because I really, really want to commend Nickel and Sunny for being, I would say, some of the star players over there on the Vipers. The kiting that was coming through, the synergy that they had together, that requires them to be on top of saying, okay, I've got my heal for this. Okay, I've got my dash here. I'm ready to go on this point. Okay, I can slow them down with the Yumi Q. Lost chapters coming out. Anything they got, right? They were on just together the entire time, which was amazing to see. So huge shout out to the bot lane for the Vipers. Maybe that's the question for the Vipers next week. Should we build around this bot lane if we know that they play so well together? Maybe that's where the focus should be. we'll have to find out next time we see the Vipers on here. But once we get the go ahead, we will have our MVP for the final game of the evening ready to show. As he's just quick with it. He's quick with it. Darwin Theory.
So quick.
Woo! On that talent, 15, 6, and
Oh.
13. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't even think we need to say anything else. If you're for some reason here late, you don't know why this got picked, go watch it back. You don't even need to watch it all back. You just got to watch like the last 10 minutes and you'll see everything that you need to see is pretty much in the KDA of the two mid laners and the damage graphs across these two boards. And Darwin Theory just did a phenomenal job of coming in, kicking ass and taking names.
Great way. Well put, Becky. Yeah. Well done. GG's to the Crusaders tonight. As yeah, they go 6-0. I'm just gonna take a peek as we start to close out things. We do have our final updated standings here. At least from my point, I can tell you guys what's going on. Start with Group A. Astronauts sit 5-1 at the end of the night. Razorbacks at 4-1. Maybe they have another game to be updated there. Maybe they're still in game. Actually, that is most likely the possibility there. So still some coming in. Keep an eye on the match sheet. It will be updated by the end of the night. Hammerheads 3-2, so they still are playing another game. Bandits are 4-3, which is a question mark because they've only played 6 games at this point. Interesting. Bandits 2-5. Again, I got some question marks here. You know what? Maybe we just give it to the end of the night and we'll see. Unfortunately, Sharks have not been able to find a win yet. Over to Group B, Crusaders stand at the top 6-0. Falcons, along with Unicorns, along with Dragons, caught in a 3-way tie, all 3-3. That's a lot of threes. See what happens in week 3. Rattlers 2-4, Vipers 1-5. And hopefully the rest of the updates will come in through the night. Hopefully everything will be fixed up. But that will be on your master sheet if you are a VAD player and or coach and or manager or whatever you have a part in this league. This was a blast, Becky. What a banging night.
This was a fun week. We got to see a lot of big things from a lot of teams, and just makes me more excited for how the rest of this season is going to turn up.
VAD's always a banger. Always happy to be here, but that'll do it for us here tonight. So thank you to all the folks who joined us from home, watching on your Twitch, whatever platform. Well, it is one platform, whatever device you decide to watch from. Thank you very much for joining us here on week 2 of the VAD. There are streams every single day of the work week, Monday to Friday. We've got more action tomorrow night with the VRD, the Victoris Rival Draft League, coming up tomorrow. Same time, same place. You know where to find it right here. Wednesday to Friday, all our pre-made leagues with a little splash of Valorant in there. You don't want to miss it because it is so much fun to be tuning in to see these amazing players show on off. Becky, any final points, thoughts, concerns, predictions? I don't know. Fortune tellings you want to send us off with before we end it?
Somebody has to take down Crusaders now.
They do.
That's all I got to say, and I'm looking forward to seeing who does it first.
Unless it's another Kuma team like we saw in VLS last play. I don't know. I don't think we've yet to have an undefeated team in VAD. It's been a couple close ones.
Yeah.
Hammerheads winner 22. They went, I believe it was 17-2, 17-3.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to the Sharks of summer 2020, where they only lost their first game of the entire split. And then after that, went and won. But could it be done? Crusaders are almost there. They sit 6-0. We've got lots of action coming up next week on VAD, and of course, lots more throughout the week. Don't want to miss it. Make sure to hit that follow button on our Twitch channel because it's sick. Victoris is great. You gotta love it here. I do, for sure. We have been your casters, Becky Bear, and I have been Gurf. Shout out to our lovely producer, Dan from Discord, who has been bringing all the lovely stuff you get to see here on the stream. Use command talent to go ahead and check out our socials. Give us a follow on that Twitter. Sometimes I tweet things. Sometimes, usually when I'm doing stuff like this, I'm out here. But check us out. We'll be around. More action to come later on. We love you all here from Victoris, and we'll see you next Monday. Take care, everyone. This is a lot of early summoners being blown by the Vipers, Becky.
A lot, but we do still have that ghost, so still a lot of mobility available. And once that little kitty cat is able to get a few more levels, we will be able to heal up Nickel and be able to stay in a nice point. Especially when you're that little cat against something like the Nautilus, you're able to farm up a lot of mana with those options.
This is a lot of early summoners being blown by the Vipers, Becky.
A lot, but we do still have that ghost, so still a lot of mobility available. And once that little kitty cat is able to get a few more levels, we will be able to heal up Nickel and be able to stay in a nice point. Especially when you're that little cat against something like the Nautilus, you're able to farm up a lot of mana with those auto attacks.
Oh, another beautiful anchor on a Nickel there. We're going to see slow down with the hero. And Yumi, one final auto! It's first blood for Wolven Alchemist. Crusader.
You're able to farm up a lot of mana with those auto attacks.
Oh, another beautiful anchor on a Nickel there. We're going to see slow down with the hero. And Yumi, one final auto! It's first blood for Wolven Alchemist. Crusaders first on the board here at that 3-minute mark. Lovely little start, and again, the setups from Sauceboss have just been so clean in this early laning phase.
I don't know what it is about the name OG Sauceboss, but picking up a character like Nautilus just feels right for that. And
really
is
does.
getting off of some nice anchors.
Going up from Crusader, still advantageous for the Viper side, but OG Sauceboss gonna walk on up, take out CB the Barbarian. Now 3v3. Exhaust will come down on a Darwin Theory. Gale's walking back and forth, doing the dance right now. Dashing forward, Wolven to pick up that kill. Darwin is next to go down. Sunny gonna be picking up the kill there, but now the lockdown with the Nautilus passive. Wolven is getting low, needs to land the damage, but cannot find it. Nickel will take out a kill onto him, and it's just back and forth trading all the way through. Sauceboss tries to Spider-Man their way out, but will they be able to make it? Nickel is built on the Maokai, but more importantly, it's another flash from Nickel to escape out of that CC from the bot half of the map. Level 6 is starting to come in as well too, which means this game gets even more scary. Only Sauceboss left to go here, as Will get the passive down. Will lock down that Yuumi briefly as in goes Darwin Theory. Oh my god, where did Barbarian go? Absolutely eviscerated this lost chapter. Burned on the bot side of the map, not able to find the CC to lock down there. Wolven Alchemist walking a little bit forward, but not too favorable for them, as Vipers have Gale with them. Well earned for them. Don't know
When
if we're quite
Gale?
done yet though, Becky.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I was like, oh, are we going to continue to push on to Gale? And that was not the case.
I mean, Shadow Assault is available for Darwin Theory. He's 3-2-2. He's got the completed Prowler's Claw, which is just going to make things that much more scary out there. Plus a Dirk. Yeah, Darwin Theory, oh no. He's found the angles. He's found the pincher maneuver. And Becky Rita comes in to say, hey, thank you for all for all the damage you just down gold. So 450 gold over to the pockets of Zeri is going to be very, very, very useful. But now he's got himself a Ghost Blade, Wolven Alchemist with the Encore. Paranoia coming on in onto the Zeri. Nickel trying to get away with that with the flash, but Becky Rita just chasing him all the way down. The kite potential is huge. The exhaust comes down. That's going to be the Nautilus ult as well. But Nickel continues. The kite continues to pump out the damage. Look at the Zeri go. A double kill for Nikki. And I think one more was picked up by his teammate there. 3 members of Crucible have been completed, as well as those boots. So headability is there. Darwin Theory doing more Darwin Theory things, but Nickel is on the chase right now. Parkour. Can they make it? Oh my god, they're actually going to go for it. Over the old turret stuff. Dark Python trying to get over there. Flashing the mastery. This guy's a madman. Darwin Theory. Hardcore parkour across the board. Will not be able to contribute if the Viper decides to go for anything here in this mid lane, but oh my god, that is illegal, Becky. He cannot get away with that.
You say together here, especially with how many people are sitting here prepared. The cannon is in place as well, throwing out some of that Seraphine utility. Where does it need to start?
Paranoia goes in. Darwin Theory with the Shadow Assault. Oh no! Limblum gets caught out by the roots, but has not popped the Slicing Maelstrom yet. Holding on to it. Wait a minute. No, it was used briefly, but interrupted. Does not matter. Crusaders have got the CC. They've got the damage. Nickel not quite able to get across the wall. That's going to be the clean ace. We were in Valorant terms. Lightning Crash was used as well too, but a 5-man encore from Wolven Alchemist. In they go with the Slicing Maelstrom, Limblum with the Zonias, and now the Paranoia to follow up. Becky Rita flings in out of nowhere to clean this fight up. He is getting gutted down extremely hard by Nickel, who gets the shutdown. Sauce Boss might be next. Flash forward to try and get the auto, but Wolfen will get dropped. Limbloom finds a kill onto Nickel, but down to sliver of health. Will get cleaned out by Gale. It's the ace for the Vipers.
Wow.
Darwin's about to get caught out. But parkour, Chaos Clone is there, Paranoia is popped. Look at CB the Barbarian super low, but they go for Nickel. Definitely the smart choice here in terms of what you want to go. Sauce Boss to follow on up. Wolfen in the back, tossing out the CC, tossing out the damage. We're going to see non assaults going on too, and multifaceted team. They're going at you from multiple angles here as Sauce Boss looks to clean this one up. Exhaust comes down. No need to chase any further than this, but they do have the anchor, locks them down, and secured for all their heart.
Coming from how much Darwin here was able to hold down and aggress onto this as the Baron comes through for Crusaders.
Baron secured. Now Vipers looking to re-engage. Encore will only land on the one that's down. Looking out kind of the backside. In goes the rest of Darwin. Mostly just Darwin there. He's getting to the back line. He will find multiple members here. It's a triple kill for Darwin. And only going to be Dark Python remaining here trying to find anything. But to no avail. Darwin, I believe, with the quadra kill there.
Wow.
So close. Here he just briefly stunned up. As Nickel is going to be the prize gem right there at the back. Let's see if they can find him. Look at South Boss with a beautiful anchor. Nickel going in with the slicing. Sorry, with the slicing maelstrom from Lindbloom. As a double kill comes through for him. Becky Rita picks up a kill on a Dark Python, and Darwin Theory makes friends with the Fountain Laser. 4v2 right now. Becky Rita still looks for CB the Barbarian. It's up to the Crusaders here to close things out. Again, another friend to the Fountain as two members now of Crusaders go slightly too ham. Darwin Theory playing Animal Controller here, just absolutely savage. With who he picks. Again, that's if you get caught out, he will go for you. Becky Rita shutting up the lights. That is going to be the encore landing onto three members of the Vipers team. They go again. Lindblom with a massive slicing maelstrom all the way to the backside of this team. Down go the Vipers. Locked up in the Victor box, but it is not going to be enough. Becky Rita making friends with the Fountain once again. It's another double kill for Darwin Theory, but that is GG Crusaders. This is a lot.